with. Bella Bars, all of my heroes are militant. All of my niggas doing petty-ass sentences. This ain't a rap, it's a document to the United States government. We do not fuck with your governance. All of my sisters and brethren, we made a covenant. We will not spend one more dime. Make you respect black lives. Put that shit on up, pick your sign, get the gang and let's go. Take this shit straight to they door. Heard they been looking for woe. Is this what you been looking for? Soldiers in the hood, so we always on tow. Mike Brown got shot down walking home from the stove. His killer didn't even have to go to court. Raised $1 million to show they support. Fuck them, we not trying to build good rapport. No, that shit is dead. You better stay inside if you are scared. City so cold that you gotta wear layers. Rocking a hoodie mean that they will pray us. Walk out the door, my grandma say her prayers. Assalamu alaikum, don't fuck with the pigs, I don't fuck with the bacon. Think that I'm golden, you sadly mistaken. This is black history that we are making. We are black history, it's in the making. Even if we don't, our story's gon' make it. This is black history that we are making. We are black history, it's in the making. Even if we don't, our stories gon' make it! I love you, revolutionaries. My name is Bella Bars. Again, that's B-A-H-H-S. Black ancestors here, healing society, not bars, not prisons, not police. We heal us, we keep us safe, we get us free. Thank you, revolutionaries. What do we want? Justice. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. And if we don't get it? Shut it down. 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 All right, our next speaker is Ariel Rebecca, a spokesperson for JVP Chicago, who is queer, trans, anti-Zionist Jewish activist whose advocacy spans across progressive, trans and Jewish spaces. Their work focuses on shifting public discourse about oppression and marginalized communities through strategic communications and community organizing.
Thank you so much. My name is Ariel Rebecca, and as I just said, I am a proud queer anti-Zionist Jewish trans woman. As an American Jew, I share the same values as all reasonable people. That whether we are black, brown, or white, born in Palestine or the US, rich or poor, we all deserve to know that our loved ones will get home safe at the end of the day. Like many of you, I have watched as wealthy, corrupt political leaders in the US have continued to violate this value. They violate this value when they prioritize their political and financial interests in the Middle East over Palestinian lives. They violate this value by providing unconditional funding and weapons to the Israeli military to the tune of billions of dollars, as the Israeli military openly carries out genocidal violence and war crimes against Palestinians in Gaza. Shame! Now is the time to make our voices heard. Not the squeaks, our voices. To demand this corrupt, greedy few listen to the voices of the many. We are the many. We are the majority. We are rising by the millions to demand that our political leaders enact domestic and foreign policy that helps create a world where all people are free in their homes, including by enacting an arms embargo on the Israeli military and by enacting policy that ends racist police violence on our own soil. These fights are one and the same. This is the pathway to creating the world we deserve. A world where all parents, rich or poor, black or brown, from Chicago to Gaza, can know that they can tuck their kids in bed at night and that they will be there safe when they wake up in the morning. Now say it with me now. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. From the sea to the river, Palestine will live forever. Thank you.
Free Palestine! We will remember, and history will remember, that the Democratic National Convention of 2024 will forever be known as the Genocidal National Convention of 2024. The whole world is watching, and we are leading this change. We stand on the right side of history, and we will not stop until Palestine is free, until justice is served, and until those responsible for this genocide are held accountable. Thank you very much, everyone.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Our final speaker, survivors of torture and wrongful convictions. Jasmine is not only an activist, advocate, leader, and organizer, she is also directly impacted by injustices she is fighting against.
All power to the people!
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 I am activist Jasmine Smith, and today is the last day of the DNC. But today is not the last day for us to stop fighting and demanding from both parties an immediate stop of using our tax-paying dollars to fund it and aiding and arming Israel as they continue. To fighting wrongful convictions in torture cases. An immediate stop to using our tax-paying dollars to help cover up corruption and killings against the black communities by Chicago Police Department. My people ask, how does the war in Gaza have anything to do with us? Who've been murdered and kidnapped by corrupt CPD? Thousands of innocent Palestine people blood on their hands. So until they stop all aid to Israel, stop corrupt cops and killers accountable. Democrats actually change and make laws and policies that actually helps and better our lower class communities. We as a people, we as the many, we must continue to fight. We must continue to unite. Black lives matter. Palestine lives matter. And these are our streets. Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
All power to the people.
Amazon! Amazon! All power to the people! All power to the people! So we're going to get moving in a second. Now I want to make it very clear because I got a little confused the other day. We're going to line up behind banners on Washington. That is the street to my right. We are not lining up on Ashland. If you line up on Ashland, you'll have to wait for a little while because you're safe. Who keeps us safe? Communities, our youth, our elders, our undocumented siblings, people who've been criminalized by the legal system. Their job is to keep our communities safe from the police. So I want y'all to keep an eye out for them. they're going to guide us through the march route. Now, I want us to be very careful. The people with the word safety team on their backs, those are the marshals. If anyone has anything else on their back on a high visibility vest, that is not somebody that we designated as a marshal. So you don't have to listen to that person. Who keeps us safe? Who keeps us safe? Now again, I want to make sure that we are all coming out here again and again as long as we need to until this genocide ends, until Palestine is free, and until oppressed people all over the world are free. So when I say free them all, I want y'all to say free them now. Free them all! Free them now! 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 And we got a quick announcement from Wissam.
All right. Before everyone heads home tonight, after we march, before you head home, make sure you grab a March on the DNC t-shirt like the one I'm wearing, okay? We have a lot of t-shirts left. We have them in black and we have them in white. You can find them in this circle right here. Please buy a t-shirt so you can keep it forever.
Whose shirts? Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose city?
Our city!
Whose city?
Our city!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose community?
Our community!
Whose community?
Our community!
All power to the people! Amen, Jah! Amen, Jah! All right, so we're gonna keep moving into Washington.
Oh yeah. All right.
I'm just
Hey,
chanting
everyone.
just to keep the energy
Thanks
up.
for tuning
y'all.
in. This is Danny.
It's
All
been a
right. Do you want to
long
talk about why you're here
weekend.
today?
Keep myself
Okay,
awake, to
cool.
be completely honest
Thank
with
you all
y'all.
for tuning in. This is the last night of the Democratic
Come
National
on,
Convention.
everybody, to
Thousands
the
of people out here. Do you want to talk about why you're here? Okay. Code Pink is here. A lot of different groups are here. So we're gonna have to take the stream down in a few minutes and like switch our system a little bit. But basically, all of these people are about to go march towards the United Center, which is a little bit to our west right now. So there's been another huge turnout. This is definitely right about the same amount of people that we saw on the day one march, right? So it's a lot of people. So Palestine has been the main issue at the convention, the main issue of the convention protests. Late last night, we were at a noise demo near where Kamala Harris was staying, up in just north of the Loop, near the Gold Coast, the Magnificent Mile, Michigan Avenue area. That noise demo got shoved south by police, and the night before there was another noise demo outside the salt shed. So the noise demos have been another much smaller demos, but they've been able to reach groups like the delegates. So how about let's start walking that way, and we'll be up for about another 5 minutes or so, I think. But then we're going to switch around, and we'll come back again to keep feeding this out to you. So there's tons of people out here, thousands of people, and there was also a pretty large march yesterday as well, which similarly left from this park, went down to the United Center, and looped back again on Lake Street. So we see a sign over there that says, Veterans Demand Ceasefire. You can see that, Veterans Demand Ceasefire. So, and it wasn't all Palestine issues. Obviously, yeah, we got like veterans, Vets for Peace, etc. Hey, do you want to talk about why you're here today?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, real briefly.
Here, let's
what
get
brings
the.
y'all here?
So I'm with About Face Veterans Against the War. We are here with a march on the DNC because we stand with Palestine. We want to end U.S. military aid to Israel. It is the United States military and U.S. funding that is allowing for the genocide to go on against the Palestinian people in Gaza right now. We are not going to stand for that. We have seen the horrors of U.S. war firsthand ourselves, and we are here today to speak out the truth that the U.S. military is the greatest force of death and destruction on the planet today. Just as Martin Luther King Jr. said, it's still true today.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Hey, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
I did not.
Oh, I thought you were a veteran.
Okay. Some of them are. Some are veterans, some are supporting the veterans.
Oh.
Did you want to talk about why you're here today?
Everything he said. I
Okay.
thought he was a veteran, and I like to say thank you to the veterans. And somebody called me a unicorn. And you know, Riot. You guys are cool. I never heard of you.
Okay. Well, here, let me give you a sticker.
But yeah, everything he said, I thought he was a veteran, so I was just trying to back him up because we need to support our veterans.
Yeah.
And we need universal health care. And we need to stop these racist, capitalist, belligerent, I don't know, terroristic, stupid wars, wasteful, inhumane. We need to stop them.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Stay safe. Thank you. Stay safe out there. All right. So we're going to get positioned down here. Again, we're going to have to go down and then up with the stream again in just a couple minutes. We'll keep coming on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter X, on Twitch. So we really appreciate everyone tuning in and sharing our work, right? Independent media, go to our website, unicornriot.ninja. You can support our work, hit the donate button. Otherwise, if you just share our work, that helps a lot. You know, we're not a huge corporation. We don't have the airwaves to propagate our signals, you know, so we really appreciate that. And thank you, Sean on the camera, Nico on the back end. We also had Alex, Akichita. Basically, everyone's been throwing in on this thing. It's been a big project we try to hit as many demos as we can, show as many different aspects of what's going on as we've been able to, basically. So I think what we're going to do right now, how about we'll just go across the street and then we'll take the stream down and we'll come back as quickly as we can. It'll take like about 3 minutes or so. So anyway, what's been going on, I'll just explain quick. So this is Washington Street. That's Washington Street. The United Center's over that way. So all the marches have gone up that way. Been pretty narrowly confined. Sometimes our data doesn't always work there, but you know, we'll just keep on giving it a shot. So anyway, lots of different types of people, right? You know, and not all demonstrators get along. You know, I mean, the RevCom is back there. You know, Freedom Road is here. Like a lot of different groups where not everyone agrees. Anarchists, communists, there's socialists, mainstream liberals, just sort of regular families, right? People that are not deep in the protest scene have been out in this thing in thousands of numbers. And so even though not everyone always agrees, it's been very clear, I think, to this wider scene in the Midwest, as well as at the Republican convention that we saw a month ago, that the Palestine issue is still the most imminent kind of burning issue that's out there. But there's been other issues talked about as well. There's been some protesters intervening with climate messages as well. So we got to switch the batteries. Okay, sorry, 1 second. All right. So yeah, we'll hang on, but we'll have to we'll switch it. It'll just be black for a couple minutes, but I think we'll be able to maintain the feed. Sorry to clarify. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that. So you see there, like said, that sign says, "Whole damn system's got to go. No fascist Trump, cold-blooded Kamala, genocide Joe." So that's RevCom, which is different than Revolutionary Communists of America. That is a different group, which used to be called Socialist Alternative, I think. So, you know, a lot of different, you know, those lefty groups out here. Progressive Labor Party is another one. So it's like pretty much, yeah. So hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back. Hang tight, y'all. So people are starting to march west on Washington Avenue. It's going to be thousands of people. It'll be quite a few blocks worth of people. And we've seen, yeah, Vets for Peace, some American flags, things like that. All right, hold on 1 second. Wait. Turn it off. Line up. You see a lot of different groups. You see various placards. You see American flags. So do y'all want to talk about why you're here today?
Oh, what's up?
We're live right now.
Yeah, oh, okay. How close? This close?
Yeah.
All right. So basically, I had a doctor appointment like an hour away, and I had the day off. You know, like a lot of these people, they don't have jobs anyway. But I had the day off, so I decided, hey, let me come see what the DNC is all about. I met up with some cool guys. They gave me this flag. I lost them about 3 hours ago. And I'm just here to kind of remind people, you know, the only reason that they're allowed to do this is because this is America. It's good stuff, but you know, the police, you can see the police are standing by. They're watching what's happening. They're not shutting this down. And if we were in Palestine right now and these people were all pro Israel or something, there'd be bullets into the crowds. It's the same thing with Venezuela. You know, they go against the government, they get shot, right? And that's the beautiful thing about America. I'm trying to remind all these people that. And all the people who are gay and support Hamas, you're idiots. That's all I got.
Thank you very much. Are you from Chicago?
No, I'm from Peoria, Illinois.
Okay. Did it play in Peoria?
It did play in Peoria.
All right, it played in Peoria. Sorry. Old metaphors. All right. So you got some, you know, high-ranking police commanders out here. We have Progressive Labor Party, one of the leftist parties here. Thank you all for joining us. All right. People are starting to move west on Washington Boulevard. It's been the pattern so far. Let's get this banner. We have one of the leftist groups, Progressive Labor Parties here. So a lot of different groups are coming out for this, a lot, especially from across the Midwest. So, would any of you folks want to talk about why you're here today?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Appreciate it.
Okay.
There's a communist revolution! It's a communist revolution!
So, this, unlike last time, there's a little bit less policing. We don't have a big line of bike cops right here. Hey, do you want to talk about why you're here today?
For humanity and peace.
Are you from Chicago?
Yes, I am.
What have you seen this week? What's jumped out at you?
The indifference at the Democratic Convention to genocide.
Okay. Anything else you want to add, sir?
Good to see you tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Do you want to talk about why you're here today?
For who?
We're with the Unicorn Riot, the covert protest.
Oh, I'm here because I was raised Jewish and I'm anti-Zionist and I am pissed off at the U.S. government for supporting genocide.
Do you feel that perspectives are changing in the Jewish community? That there's more space for people that aren't Zionists in the Jewish community?
Totally. Thanks to the young people. The young people are going to save us. They have to teach their families about Zionism and genocide.
What have you seen this week that's jumped out at you?
I've seen the predominance of Gaza. I've seen the predominance of Gaza and the movement demanding the attention of the U.S. people and the Democratic Party.
Okay, cool. Anything else you want to add?
Free Palestine.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Palestinians. A lot of people have been saying, oh, there's been some lip service from the Democratic leadership, but no real action. They're saying no free speech at the DNC sign, things like that. So there have not been any pro-Palestine speakers televised at the DNC so far. So that's one of the issues that people were pushing on, was like, hey, let us have a speaker that's pushing this issue. So, excuse me, would you want to talk about why you're here today? We're live right now.
I'm here to let everybody know that Israel is occupying Palestine and we're here to be heard. Kamala Harris and Biden and Trump, we're here for a new party, Free Palestine.
Are you from Chicago?
I am from Chicago, yes.
Has anything jumped out at you this week that you've noticed? Like anything that's particularly memorable or caught your attention?
For over 300 days it has. There's been a genocide. here that America, the USA, is funding. And we're here to say stop. That's not where our tax dollars have to go. We have homelessness. We have education. Let's put our money towards that. Save the babies, save the children, save the women and men in Palestine.
Anything else you want to add, ma'am?
Free Palestine!
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we appreciate your support. We've got more written reports on unicornriot.ninja. We've also been posting shorter video clips as different things have been happening, like the noise demos that we've been out at. So one little feature of the way that this has been managed, the people next to us are part of the Community Relations Service, which is a Department of Justice department that sometimes does protest marshaling at these events. It's not well known, but they have a field office in Chicago, so we just kind of wanted to flag the fact that it's another interesting aspect of these things that's not well known in large-scale protests in the United States, particularly at national conventions. We've seen them repeatedly. They were also at Milwaukee. I just wanted to mention that. I keep seeing them at this spot on the sidewalk repeatedly, so they've been here a lot. So, all right. Do you want to talk about why you're here today?
Sending a message to DNC to make policy changes and stop this genocide.
What's jumped out at you this week? What have you noticed that's special this week?
The solidarity. Okay. We have beautiful solidarity, all working for Palestine.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. We got a 300 days American funded and backed genocide on the sign. 300 days American funded and backed genocide on their sign there. Those women are moving pretty fast. So these big protests do move pretty fast down these narrow streets. You can see that it's filling the sidewalks, it's filling the streets. It's going to be several blocks. This is a big turnout comparable to the first day. Another group that we see up there, we interviewed them yesterday. Those are ultra-Orthodox Jewish members of the ultra-Orthodox NK. And so their theological position is basically that they don't support the project of Zionism in an Israeli state. They feel that it jumped the gun on theologically. So they've been consistently visible at a lot of Palestine protests. Pretty highly visible. So we got an interview with them yesterday. So, do you want to talk about why you're here today? We're live right now. You want to talk about it?
I'm good, man. Thank you for Palestine. Okay. Not more than that.
Has anything jumped out at you this week? Anything that gives you some hope? Anything in particular this week especially?
I pray to God. God alone can take care of everything. That's my opinion.
You're from Chicago?
Yeah.
How do you feel Chicago's been coming out of this during this whole thing?
I mean, we're all Palestine, right? All of us. So.
Cool. Thank you. Anything else you want to add?
Free Palestine. Free Palestine.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. So the march is paused for a second. We do see a big black flag up front. Let's go up front for a minute. Let me check it out up front.
I like this channel, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. A lot of really nice support from the folks went out at this. So there's a real big black flag out here, and a lot of legal observers in green hats, and a line of police. And then there's so the main front of the march is there. There's a line of marshals locked arm in arm in front of it, kind of keeping a seal. There's press people in front of that with a bunch of monopods like we have. And then someone's got a really large black flag and a really large American flag up in the front. There's a bald man with glasses and a blue shirt, and he was also directing a lot of the situation with the press earlier out in front of the Israeli consulate. So this person, there's definitely kind of a back and forth there. You know, obviously, huge protest. Everyone has a different opinion. Not everyone's going to get along in these situations. So sometimes people have an argument or whatever, like they are, right? And then a million journalists swarm around it. So one of the funny things unique to national, the national conventions is look at this. There's 40 cameras, 30 or 40 cameras around one person, and then you have the marshals right behind it, and like a circle of people, and then like an argument, and then the police liaison guy is right there.
Here from Trump and Harris to the issue of Palestine and Gaza and the ongoing genocide that is taking place is a great accomplishment that we've had here today and over these past 4 days.
So Mick, I just wanted to ask you for a little historical context, and I know that you've worked on the Palestine issue for a pretty long time.
Yes.
And so we'll just set aside this argument that's over there for a second.
Yeah.
But like, look, but Mick, I wanted to ask you, like,
you know, I'm actually playing a role here.
Oh, okay. But I wanted to ask you about the raids that happened. You know, has the federal government tried to crack down on your organizing?
We've often had problems with the federal government, including an 8-year campaign to harm us and our organizing. But I actually have to. I'm actually have some responsibilities.
All right,
here.
I'll let you go, Mick. Thank
Great
you.
to see you,
Yeah,
as always, and I have great respect for your work.
Yeah, thank you, Mick. Okay, so that's Mick Kelly. I've known Mick a long time. He's got his hands full. He's a long member of, Freedom Road. And again, so Freedom Road Socialist Organization, that's one of the groups out here. They represent a distinct point of view. And so Mick got raided by the FBI. That was what I wanted to talk to him about.
We all went down.
We all went down? Okay.
So, I don't. We the people are right here.
Oh, that's the fundamentalist guy again. It's the Christian fundies. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we need to focus on it.
Yeah. So you have the CRS marshal right there. The guy in the black hat, that's like a Christian nationalist guy. He was talking a lot about nationalism. The person we talked to is having some kind of argument with him. We don't need to worry about it too much. It's not necessarily that exciting, but this guy has been directing press situations. The guy in the blue shirt there, he's like, I think maybe part of the police department.
Left or right, media, left or right.
Okay.
Get off the street.
So
Let the protesters
a bit of kind of a flurry with a little bit of counter demonstrator stuff. So you see how the police commanders stand in the middle, sort of in front of everything. So you have the police commanders, the elevated train, the police. All right, I think we can this week. Can you talk about how it's been going?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, we did what we said we were going to do. We had 20,000 people in the streets on Monday. We had 8,000 yesterday. We have close to that today. We said tens of thousands throughout the week. People from the Black Liberation Movement, people from the Immigrant Rights Movement, women's and reproductive rights, labor rights, all these different social justice movements coming together saying the core issue in the world today is Palestine, and as a unified voice we're saying stop the genocide, end U.S. aid to Israel, and make sure that the Democrats who are complicit know that we're out here and know that we're saying to them that they're responsible for the genocide.
So do you feel like it's been changing the discussion? Do you feel like there's been a shift or that it's been hanging over?
I wouldn't know what we want for, but absolutely, when we have from all these disparate communities, what happens is that it of course changes the narrative. And outside, not what's going on inside.
Okay, cool. Anything else you want to add right now?
No, I mean, listen, if Kamala Harris really wants to change the narrative, then she's got to make a policy statement. Lip service is not enough. She has to say Israel needs to stop the genocide or else we're going to stop sending arms and money to it.
Okay, great. And thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. So that's Hatem Abudeya. We talked to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it is, yes.
Anything particular this week that jumped out at you?
It's just the fact that we've got thousands of people out here from all kinds of different communities calling for an end to the genocide, calling for an end to U.S. aid to Israel.
Everything if he wants to get
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, so we're talking to a couple of those event organizers. So we've been turning north. Watch out, medics. Okay, so we turn north, coming up to Maypole. I think the cops are probably going to have everyone turn west again. So you see, Stand with Palestine, End US Aid to Israel, Ready for Jobs, Head to School, Housing, Education, Healthcare, and
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
So we've seen, a lot of the same demonstrators that we saw up in Milwaukee. Those cities aren't too far apart, so people doubled it up.
You are bombing Gaza too!
And then
Killer Kamala, we know you! Killer Kamala, we know you! You support the genocide too! You support the genocide too! Killer Kamala, shame on you! Killer Kamala, shame on you! You are killing children too! You are killing children too! Killer Kamala, you can't hide! Killer Kamala, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! We charge you with genocide! Killer Kamala, you can't hide! Killer Kamala, you can't hide! You support the genocide! You support the genocide!
so we see some of the same press liaison guys. Sorry, Mick. And then, so up here, I just want to mention the two guys, one in the dark shirt, one in the light shirt, between those cops up there, have just been major press liaison guys. Like, it's been interesting to kind of, see how the Chicago police try to, negotiate where the press is and sort of, in some cases, just be like, oh, well, y'all are going to get arrested if you stay here, and say stuff like that, which, is obviously kind of aimed at minimizing how much direct quotes they get from the protesters into the press. So, all right. So we're out ahead of it a little bit. We got riot police blocking the street to the left, about one line of them, about a dozen. We're coming up on Maypole and Wood right now. We're facing west. So, let's see. So again, that's CRS, federal people, City of Chicago riot police. Sometimes we've seen Secret Service out on these things. Haven't seen one today so far.
Hey guys, one curb or the other, please.
All right.
Up on one curb or the other, thanks.
So that's Ahern with Public Affairs. He's been on the press thing the whole time. Anything else to add, or?
No, I love what y'all do.
Okay, thank you. So again, you see there's a couple of these CRS and these lanyards, which again is a Department of Justice group that dates back to the Civil Rights era. They've got a whole thing on the CRS DOJ website about protest marshals if you want to learn about that. It's not well understood. Let's listen to this guy for a second.
Yeah, okay. I'm saving you from your own stupidity. Yeah, keep walking, I'm walking. You fucking ass wipes. Fuck you, good, you fucks.
All right, so that's a counter demo. Yeah, so they're, whatever. Anyway, that was a guy. So the march is coming up slowly, not moving quite as fast as some of the ones we've seen, which were darn fast out at these things. Again, thank you all for tuning in. We're at Wood and Maypole at the fourth night of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, Illinois. We're on the west side of Chicago right now. So obviously you see there's a lot of police here. Police are recording riot police on the south side trying to keep people away from the United Center. So now, this time around, I think the march yesterday was a block south of this to a great extent. So they've pushed people off another block, basically. And so the person with the black flag is definitely not part of the main contingent. They had a bit of an argument going with some of the other people. Then you got the protest marshals, and then the sound system behind that, and then the main banners behind that. So it's, you know, structured space. Again, different people, they're not always all going to agree about how the space goes and everything. But we just try to like capture it as accurately as we can. So get a sense from people what's going on. Do you want to talk about why you're here? Okay. Do you want to talk about why you're here? Sorry? Do you want to talk about why you're here?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Here, come on. Come over. What brings you here?
So basically, we're here because we're calling for an end of funding of Israel and Israel weapons from the U.S. It doesn't matter Republican or Democrat; they're both funding a genocide. And we're letting that know. The DNC is in town. It doesn't matter what the political candidate is, Kamala or Biden. They're funding the genocide, plain and simple.
What jumped out at you this week?
Just the numbers. There are over 200 organizations here, 200,000 of people from not just Chicago, but all around the U.S. that are here right now. And this is, I think I've never seen this before. And this honestly is great to see, and the people of Gaza are going to see the support there. No matter where you are, the support's going to be there.
Okay, cool. Anything else you want to add?
Free Palestine.
Cool. Thank you very much. Thank you. Cool. So obviously, there's also, you know, medics here, volunteer medics. Like, Chicago's got a lot of people experienced with protests, so people. Do you want to talk about why you're here today?
Yeah, we'd like the genocide of the Palestinian people to stop, funding with U.S. tax dollars. We all see what's going on. The other day, we actually watched Palestinians after a U.S. bomb hit a school. The way that they gave you your dead to bury in Palestine was you told them the age of your child, and they estimated the weights in kilo and gave you body parts in an actual plastic bag. This isn't very complicated. We want the death and destruction to stop. The IOF is filming their atrocities and sharing it with the world because they think they're untouchable. There are no consequences. Israel has been found guilty of the crime of extermination. I do not understand what more the U.S. needs to see. We are complicit. We are directly responsible. We fund it. We send the weapons. It is not complicated. The U.S. can say whatever they want about a ceasefire. They are lying. The U.S. government is lying. Hamas agreed to a ceasefire back in May. The ceasefire that supposedly Israel presented, Israel refused to accept it. It's a joke. They want the option to go back in at any given time and bomb as they see fit. There is nothing left of Gaza. 2 million people are displaced, over 85% of the country destroyed. No water, disease everywhere, and we need it to stop.
So, what have you seen this week? What's made an impression on you in terms of everything with the DNC in town?
To be honest, the level of disregard from the Democratic Party. We, in general, Palestinian Americans are supporters of Democratic Party, and they are dismissing us. They are dismissing our voices. They do not care. We watched people go into the DNC convention, and as they were naming the kids who died, people were actually mocking them. I don't know what more they need to see. The Democratic Party is not the party of the people.
Are there any factors that you're feeling hopeful about after all of these terrible months going on?
I just don't know how much longer it could last. Every time I think there's a little bit of hope, I'm hopeful for the best, but not really expecting a whole lot with this regime. The only way this will stop is if the U.S. government puts a stop to it. They can put a stop to it tomorrow if they wanted to.
Are you from Chicago?
I am from the Chicago suburbs.
Can you talk about how Chicago's been coming out during this?
Yeah, I've actually been coming out since October, almost every single weekend to every single protest, and I do no socializing at this point. Chicago has come to action every single week.
Okay, cool. Anything else you want to add?
All I can say is, for anybody who doesn't acknowledge what is going on, you are now complicit. There is no way you can spend 10 minutes looking it up to see the truth. The Palestinians have never been the bad ones in this. All we want is freedom from occupation. What would you say if somebody came into your home, destroyed your home, took your home from you? We in the U.S. can't handle an internet cutoff for a day without freaking out. Israel controls the water. They decide when you get water. They decide when you get electric. It is not very complicated.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We're with the Unicorn Ride. Here, we can give you a sticker. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So the march is still going strong. Still going strong. We got to fight back. We got to fight back. All right. So, big march. I think we can start moving it. Do you want to talk about why you're here today? Okay. Do you want to? Okay. All right. So, we'll take advantage of a little bit of space here, but we still can't see the end of the march, right? It's got to be, I don't know, at least like probably 7-8 blocks long at least. So. Again, we're moving west. We're a block south of Lake Street. We're north of the United Center. Fourth day of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Last night we saw a noise demo outside of Kamala Harris's hotel about a block south of it. That noise demo went on for a while. Got pushed south on Michigan Avenue last night, so we had a little bit of a live stream from that. So even like, so we have seen small demos as well as the big organized ones, and the small demos have been making an impression on people. On Tuesday night, after 70 arrests at the Israeli consulate, later that night, at about after 11, people came out to the Salt Shed event venue, and they basically had a noise demo, and all the delegates had to come past them. So that was a few dozen people, just like less than 40 people. They had the cicadas. The cicadas are going hard here today. And so here, we can go up on, we'll just walk up ahead on the sidewalk. So definitely got the Communist USA, one of the communist parties is here. Apparently Donald Trump posted like pictures or AI generated images with like red communist flags as if Kamala Harris is a communist, but I think in contrast you can see people that are more genuine communists that are not mainstream Democrats are definitely out here today very clearly. And the socialist parties and the socialist groups, Palestine has been a major cause, not just in the last year, but for a long time. So it's not a surprise that so many of them are here. So like a lot of this, I guess, is public housing in this neighborhood. Some organizers are definitely concerned, like police don't have too much qualms about doing stuff in these places, So that, that's been a concern. This field behind us is totally fenced off, by the way. This is new fencing. This has all been fenced off right behind us. So the police don't want it to be an assembly space. I think we can, I think the police are also blocking off the north of Walcott. All right, so we're back at this park again, and we'll see if the police are gonna let people back in the park. I don't think they are. We can see there's riot police blocking Walcott. So the United Center is immediately gonna be to our south. You'll see that in a second. We can step up ahead a little bit. So the United Center is up here. On Monday, a breakaway group was able to pop out some of the units of the fence. We went into the fence breach and sort of filmed that, documented that, and there weren't too many arrests in there. Really only people that stayed got arrested, basically, for the most part in that situation. But you can see that, yeah, let's just try to get a shot through the fence. There's the United Center back there. So you can see it's blocked by riot police again. So they've been trying to keep people out of this park. Yesterday, we did see pro-Israel counter-demonstrators inside this park. And so counter-demonstrators were still gaining access to the park. There's also a line of bike police north of us on Walcott, not that important, but just to illustrate the way that police are used to kind of create these boxes has been one of the major tactics. If people want to understand a little more about protest policing, you can look up on our website the Mobile Field Force. In Milwaukee, it was official that they were doing mobile field force style organization. We put up the manuals on that. We found manuals from inside the federal government about mobile field forces. And so I think the way that this has been policed, well, some of it has been in the negotiated policing style. They've still been using mobile field force type tactics to break up the crowds if they are not willing to follow the line of the police, basically. Whereas the larger marches have usually been more coordinated with the authorities to try to, keep their routes open and sort of move everything along. But this time, in contrast to the Monday march, bike police have not been maintaining the sides of it, which is what we saw on Monday. So it's a little bit less policed than the Monday march was. So that's the convention hall. There's been no pro-Palestine or pro-Palestine human rights speakers going up at the convention. There have been some discussion panels about Palestinian human rights, at least one or two. And there was also, we heard a sit-in, the uncommitted delegates. There's about 40 of them, uncommitted delegates, many of them from Minnesota. And they were having a bit of a sit-in outside. We also heard there was a banner drop or something, some banner thing that happened near the convention hall earlier today in the last couple hours is what we heard. So, all right, so the park access is still isolated. There's a few press back in the park, but there's really, I don't yet see any counter demonstrators. The city did have a so-called free speech zone thing, which is the yellow barricades at the top of that hill in the park, but I don't see any free speech happening up there, just a bunch of police and security standing around. So, you want to talk about why you're here today? Oh, careful.
To oppose the useless slaughter of innocent people in Gaza.
Okay. And what's jumped out at you this week? What have you noticed this week?
Well, the swell of enthusiasm for the change in the Democratic Party has been tempered by some awareness of a huge crack in their facade, which is their support for what's going on in the Middle East. So there needs to be huge pressure, much more than this, to shift their ground. I admire the people who are doing the sit-in there. They are really getting an impact, and probably more media than this is. I don't know, but these people deserve a lot of credit too. But I particularly admire the ones that are doing that. Inside, I believe they may have an impact.
Okay, cool. Anything else you want to add?
No?
Okay, here, I have a sticker.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, I think we could go that way. So, march is paused. It still goes way back. We don't know how many blocks back there. The march has been huge. Excuse us, guys. Excuse us. So, there were some pro-Israel counter demonstrators in the park yesterday. So we'll take a look. People are chanting ceasefire now. Let's see if the counter demonstrators got back in there again. People are chanting ceasefire now. So I think this is pretty much aimed at, sending that noise towards the convention center. People are calling out ceasefire now.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, off camera? Yeah, just go ahead. Talk about why you're here today. We're live.
Well, I'm here because I otherwise feel powerless over what is happening. Both parties. I've been a Democrat all my life, and starting to see the performative politics, the lies. I feel really on the spot right now. But I also feel like this is one of the only things that I can do. I don't know how else to, you write your representatives and you get canned letters about October 7th. It's just like, it's not heard, we're not, I don't feel heard.
What have you seen this week? Do you think there's been impact? Do you think there's been able to be a message sent towards this convention? Like people are shouting towards the stadium right now?
Well, I didn't know where we were, so thank you for that.
It's right, it's that big there, straight up there. Yep.
Okay, I figured that was it. I don't know. I was only able to come today. I hope so. I mean, I have to watch what I consume just for my own mental health. So, I mean, for me, it's like trying to figure out how to affect change and how to take care of myself at the same time. It's the challenge. I hope so, but I kind of doubt it.
Yeah. Are you from Chicago?
I live in Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, have a lot of people come from Michigan? Do you feel like this is making a big is this a big deal in Michigan? Like, is it getting people's attention? This whole situation.
I mean, I live in rural Michigan, so not a lot gets their attention. You know, I mean, no offense to where I live, but I mean that's just how it is.
Right, anything else you want to add?
No. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Have a sticker. Yeah, we're on Instagram. We're live right now. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. So that was someone from Michigan who came down for this thing. Say, would you want to talk about why you're here today?
Say what?
Would you want to talk about why you're here today?
I can try.
Okay. All right. All right. So we've been paused here for a minute. The United Center. So the United Center's back up there. People are kind of just holding this space, chanting about it. There's, have kind of backup riot police farther down to the south. And in contrast to the Monday march and the march yesterday, they have not been trying to use bike police along the sides of the entire march, so their policing is a little bit looser. So that's given a little more fluidity. So, again, yeah, so we're straight north of the DNC. Can you see, there's like a sniper team or something way up on the roof behind that flag. It'd be hard to get, but we can see way up there at the top of the roof next to that street light. There's a team of overlooked like sharpshooter types way up there. And there's, so just to point out that it's there. We've had other footage. We have other footage of that angle and what's been on top of the United Center. There's also a police helicopter that's going off to the south. There's been a lot of pretty aggressive use of police helicopters we've seen during this. There's been quite a bit of that. So, say, would you like to talk about why you're here today? Okay. All right. Would you like to talk about why you're here today? So just what brings you here today?
Yeah, I mean, we're just here. We were part of the UCLA encampments as students. We're just here because, we're tired of it. We're sick and tired of having to worry about the Democrats and the lack of action that they're doing. And, they have a lot of leverage right now. They need to use it. So,
can you talk about what's been happening to young people in these campuses and what happened at UCLA, where it seemed like the police set up a situation where reactionaries could attack the protesters? Can you talk about that at all?
That's just how it is. That's the cops. They're not on our side. They're sympathizers. Our administrators are sympathizers with Zionists, and that's just how it is. They didn't keep us safe. We kept each other safe. People in the encampment kept each other safe. So that's really it. Yeah.
So do you feel like the state sets up situations where reactionaries or paramilitaries can attack protesters?
I think so. Yeah. Okay. I think so.
Did you see that happen yourself?
Yeah. They brought in like 3 different law enforcement agencies on students. Non-violent students. It's insane. I think when your schools and the state militarize the police, how protected is our speech really? We have a right to protest. We have a right to free speech. But when there's massive police everywhere, there's massive, state agencies everywhere to suppress your voice, how free are we really? You know what I mean? This is something that students feel we are, it's a just issue that we're fighting for, so,
Have administrators used tactics to try to deter protests?
Yeah. Recently, the UC Office of the President just basically banned encampments and masks. So, they're one by one limiting our free speech. We can't wear. What about those that are immunocompromised? How are they supposed to, protest? How are they supposed to participate in these demonstrations? So, one by one, they're like, how do you ban encampments? You know what I mean? But when outside agitators are here, they let them come in and attack students. It's just, we're frustrated. It's you know.
Are there any groups or any other aspects that people should know about?
I can't really speak to it. I'm here as an individual that just wanted to take part in this action, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. So that was some students from UCLA. Some UCLA students talking about their experiences and the instances of how the administrators have tried to make it more difficult for protests to happen. And that was an important thing, something that we have seen, which is that reactionary or forces that are outside the state, or paramilitary or reactionary forces, can take advantage of conditions created by the state to attack leftist protesters. And a lot of times, there's literature about what's called the three-way fight, which is something that is discussed a lot by anti-fascists and other people in activist circles. And I think what happened with UCLA is one of the most critical examples of that. Another example that happened recently was a person who's a photojournalist in Portland was convicted on a riot charge in a very similar situation, where the police in Portland were standing by and Proud Boys were attacking a group of leftist protesters, and essentially the police created a situation where the Proud Boys could do whatever they wanted, similar to what happened at UCLA with the police in Los Angeles. And so that is a type of tactic which has been used to serve the goal of crushing leftist activity, whether it's the Palestine activity or other, activity where people are against the Proud Boys. So I think that's a pattern people should look for. It's a pattern that repeats. It's a pattern that has been found multiple times throughout history. And it's a pattern that's been happening in the United States to protests. Sorry. Cool. So that I just wanted to mention that because the UCLA is one of the clearest examples that we've seen in recent years. But another case in Portland was in the news recently because they charged someone who had been gotten caught up in that, basically. So just wanted to mention that. Anybody else today?
To protest against the DNC, against the genocide and the war, U.S. imperialism.
What's jumped out at you this week?
Demonstrations are peaceful. Democrats are not even addressing the issues at all. Their platform doesn't really address the issues at all. They don't even have the decency to lie to us. So we're demonstrating, but they keep us away from actually talking to them. They're in like a bubble, and we're isolated here. They use the media to get everybody afraid of security. So most of the discussion in the media is about security, but the message, the anti-war message, doesn't get viewed too much.
Yeah. Are you from Chicago?
Yes, I am.
How has Chicago been coming out about this? I mean, over the last few months.
Yeah, regular demonstrations with the Palestinian groups. Yeah, there was one last night. Last night was interesting because they didn't crack heads, although there was no permit. That's something I found interesting. Because if this was 1968 and there wasn't a permit, they would have swept the streets and caused a police riot, which they did.
Yeah.
So there's some improvement there.
Yeah. Were you there in '68?
No, I was there in '69 at the Days of Rage.
Oh, okay.
But
do you see parallels?
15 then.
Yeah. Do you see parallels to those days?
Yeah, sure. It's the same system, same crap.
Same system, same crap.
Yeah.
Right.
U.S. Imperial War. Hey, you know what I have to say? Chicago is a settler colonial society. Okay, U.S. out of North America.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. All right. Did you want to talk about why you're here today?
We're here to end the war and try to end the siege of Gaza by Israel. We don't think we should be spending United States dollars over there. We're just making it worse. And we could use that money for healthcare and education instead.
Cool. Great. Are you from Chicago?
I'm from Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. So it's a big mixture of people. It's not all one kind of people out here. People from different parts of the country have been out and all of that. So we'll say, do you want to talk about why you're here today? You want to talk about what's going on?
Sure.
Okay. What have you seen? What's jumped out at you this week? What's been going on?
Well, I came out on Monday, and there's not as many people out today, but there's obviously more out today.
which is very good to see. And I'm hoping we can put a lot of pressure, as much pressure as possible, on the Democrats to change their course, basically.
Do you feel like it's put a level of awareness over the convention, like the size of this has been helping push the issue forward?
I'd like to think so. Unfortunately, when I watch mainstream media, I don't see the coverage of what's going on outside. It's very rare. Hopefully tonight with more people, there'll be some more exposure, yeah.
Sure. Anything else you want to add or anything that's really caught your attention lately?
No.
Okay.
It's got to stop now.
Okay. Are you from Chicago?
I'm from Virginia.
Virginia?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you feel like back home that there's people that care about this, that there's a national movement in different places about this?
Oh, clearly. I mean, things have changed fairly dramatically over the last 9 months, 10 months. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Thank you so much. Sure. Thank you. All right. So that person was from Virginia. And that shows that people do really come from pretty distant locations to get out to these things and check out what's going on. So there's a line of riot police. We're at the corner of the park. There was a line of bike police back there. They're about 2 deep, so it's about maybe roughly 20 Chicago riot police there. So those people are out there. There's a lot of other folks, like medics, all of that, those kind of people out here. We have the sorry, how do you pronounce the name of your group again?
Neturei Karta.
Neturei Karta.
Protectors of the city, it's Aramaic. We're protecting against these criminals, against Zionism in the state of Israel.
Cool. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. We got the interview yesterday, so I won't waste your time again, but thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. All right. So that group, again, they have, many of them live in Jerusalem as well, and they've been speaking out against this project. Oh, I'm sorry. And I think that's one of the things that's been going on in Israel is the attempt to draft ultra-Orthodox people that have, in a lot of cases, a different theological position than a lot of other people in Israel about the wars, about the state, and so on. They have a different priority. And so that's an example of that. So once again, as with the march yesterday, the march is going to turn to the right. We're going to come up towards Lake Street. So off camera, just tell us why you're here today.
I'm here because there's no candidates I can confidently vote for.
Okay. Anything else you want to add? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Cool. Do you want to talk about why you're here today?
That's okay.
Okay. All right.
One struggle, one fight. Workers of the world unite. One struggle, one fight. Workers of the world unite.
So there's more riot police to the south here, preventing people from turning south towards the United Center. So pretty much the same arrangement as last time. You can also see all those buses parked there. So Chicago Transit buses have been used pretty heavily to transport the police during this. We're here next to the Revolutionary Communist Party, which I believe is Revolutionary Communists of America. We talked to some of them earlier in Philly. They had I think a meeting in Philly. So they formed out of an earlier socialist group trying to create, we were sort of told it's like kind of a Zoomer-ish attempt to like build up another leftist party in the United States. That was the impression that we got from those folks talking to them back in April. So here we're by the Lake Street Transit CTA station. There's plenty of security and police up on the station platform. There was a little bit of action inside the station last time, a little bit of tension. We couldn't tell exactly what happened. Something happened.
Hello, today we're here to
support the freedom of the Palestinians from the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Fight on.
Right on. What have you seen this week? What's jumped out at you this week?
Wait, say it one time.
What's jumped out at you this week?
What should I start? I've been watching for so many months. The children get slaughtered back to back to back to back. Like, where you want me to start? The numbers just keep increasing with the same behavior, which is unacceptable, if you ask me. Yeah.
Are you from Chicago?
Yeah, born and raised.
So has Chicago been coming out for the last few months?
Well, I just got back from Miami. I was living in Miami for 10 months. It started when I was living in Miami, and I went to a protest when I was in Miami. That was the first one I went to.
All right. What do you want people to know about what's been going on?
What I want people to know about what's been going on is that, okay, that's such a loaded question because there's so many things, but what's the most important thing? I would say, regardless of what the media is telling you or regardless of what you see, it's primarily civilians being slaughtered. It's not, they like to tell you Hamas. It's not Hamas like you think. Palestinians and Hamas are not synonymous. They're slaughtering Palestinians. That's what I would like them to know.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Here, let me give you a sticker. Oh, he went too fast. Do you know him? Give him a sticker. Thank you. All right, that guy's gonna get him a sticker. We got our sticker distro going. All right. Do you want to talk about why you're here today?
I'm here to support Palestine. We need to free them. Because a lot of us not free yet. We're still not free yet. We've been here all our life. We still ain't free. So I got to support the ones that's not free.
Has Chicago been coming out for Palestinians?
Yes, it is. I work for a Palestinian. They're great people.
What have you seen this week? What have you noticed this week?
I noticed we came out in numbers. Came out in numbers. Supported. We hope everything get better. We need to stop the war, stop the killing. Yeah. If they're going to be about the Bible, one of the main issues in the Bible is not should not kill. So why are we giving weapons to kill? No. Too many of us have died already.
Okay, cool. Anything else you want to add?
No. Free Palestine. Free Palestine.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so we're turning right now, real loud. People are turning east back on Lake Street, underneath the elevated train. Looks like our... All right, we'll pause for a second here because we're underneath the station. Thank you all for tuning in. The police are blocking access, telling people that they're not going to let anybody in the station. So they really don't want people up in this station. So there was definitely stuff happening in the station before yesterday. Something happened in the station. So the police have cut it off. Here's the train, it's loud. Silly moment. You can walk along a little bit. All right. Can you maybe turn back to show the people back there? So yeah, tons of people still coming around the corner. We can't even see the end of it. It's got to be, I don't know, at least like 8 blocks, something on that level for sure. Lots of people, collateral damage is murder too. Do you want to talk about why you're here today?
Yes, hi, I'm here because I support the people of Palestine. I support the resistance to the occupation. And I support the right of Palestinians to live as equal human beings like everybody else and not be subject to gross violations of their human and civil rights.
What have you seen this week? What's jumped out at you?
The variety of people here. People who have no connection to Palestine, no connection to Israel, but who care about peace and justice. That really impresses me.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add? How has Chicago been coming out in the last few months?
Well, I'm from Detroit, so I came from Detroit, and the spirit of Chicago is very rich and alive here, and I'm very happy to be among them.
Is this issue relatively big in Michigan? There's been talk about Michigan and the Palestine issue. Can you talk about that?
Yes. Well, of course, the Detroit area is home to about 200,000 Arab Americans, and as a consequence, we become united, and we've been able to convince people and persuade people of the justice of our cause. We are heartened by the fact that so many people share our sentiments, and we're going to continue on until we get peace and justice. No peace, no justice. No justice, no peace.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so that's a resident from Michigan talking about the impact that this issue has in Michigan specifically, which is thought to be a fairly big issue with the election, more so than the other states, because there's a large Arab and Muslim and Palestinian population in Michigan. That was why I asked him about that. All right, so here's Defund War, Refund Communities. That's Code Pink right here. So we got a Code Pink group here. Got a lot of other folks, kind of like, these are not the political parties. There's some cool signs coming back, like some painted signs back there. Someone else has a sign. You know what else is weird? Funding a genocide. Stop funding war, Gaza. You want to talk about why you're here?
Oh man, I'm not trying to be on TV.
Okay, I can point it away.
Okay, perfect, wonderful.
Yeah, why are you here?
I'm here because it's horrible what's going on. George Soros and Sheldon Adelson's funds kill a lot of people. I'm not trying to be in the camera. Please, if you can block it out, you know, whatever. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Sorry, sir.
No problem. But like when you upload it, if you can block it out, edit. Right. Oh, it's stream right now. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, when you think about the history of you know, the early settlers in the late 1800s that started setting up their kibbutz, all up until, you know, the emergence of the Stern Gang, the Haganah, you know, things that Ben Gurion has been quoted for, who obviously the airport's named after. There's just always been a lot of supremacist logic to basically displace the indigenous people of Palestine, indigenous meaning the descendants of those who have been there for a long time, who have been colonized. And what we see going on now through alternative media sources in the Gaza Strip is truly horrific. I mean, it's not like it was something that randomly emerged. I believe that it's been planned for a long time. There's so many things that are suppressed through the mainstream. Just feeling for a fellow human being, I felt like it was right for me to show up, especially considering it's the last day of the Democratic National Convention. Many people are familiar with the things that Kamala Harris said on The View, things she said at AIPAC conferences. There are FBI programs, as well as several other entities. Probably not too good for me to delve too deep into it, but organizations that are Zionist-oriented that infiltrate protests like this. People presenting, you know, their right to assemble, feeling compassion for those who are being slaughtered, forced, you know, to starve. Now, unfortunately, exposed to polio through the direct attacks on infrastructure, blockade of hygiene products, etc. And a lot of people are so brainwashed when they see something like this, I hope, you know, when they see a large amount of people, considering that it's estimated that the Chicago metropolitan area having the largest Palestinian community in the United States, approximately 85,000. When they see a large demonstration like this, hopefully it will open them up a little bit to questioning more than what they hear from the mainstream narrative. We see what CNN portrays, we see the lies from Antony Blinken, should I say, and so many others deep in politics. 700 Club, unfortunately, feeds a lot of propaganda to the rural community within this state, Illinois, as well as neighboring states, Iowa, Indiana, etc. And many people don't realize that a lot of their... Sure, no problem. Yeah, you can go.
I just want to say thank you so much. I really
yeah, you're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
No problem at all.
Yeah, here, let me give you a sticker.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so we just talked to that person. Says democracy is not a liberal conspiracy. Stop Project 2025. Trump is a rapist. Fourth day of the Democratic National Convention protest. Palestine is the main message out here. We also have a Stop Project 2025 led by the Heritage Foundation. Our contributor Arturo has a piece on Project 2025 on unicornriot.ninja. Check out our website, share our work, share our feeds, help share Unicorn Riot's work, subscribe to us. So there is one line of bike cops, but they're back along a building. They are not right on the curb like they were last time. So we're here out on Lake Street, moving east again, having already looped past the United Center. All right. Camera as well, if you prefer.
I'm okay. I don't really want to do an interview.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. All right. Yeah. Again, thank you all for tuning in. Day 4, Democratic National Convention here in Chicago. So Palestine's been the main protest message, but again, there's been climate messages. There's been other messages put out there. This is a big march. They got a lot of people here for this Thursday night closing march to send that message. You know, last night we were at a noise demo that was a block down from Kamala Harris's heavily secured hotel. The police kind of pushed everybody south into the loop over the Chicago River Bridge, down Michigan Avenue. So we were out there. We have that coverage, the videos, pictures up on our website from that situation. So even those small noise demos have also been effective. On Tuesday night at 11 p.m. outside the salt shed, there was another noise demo, and all the delegates had to come past that noise demo. So these people have been trying to send a message out to those delegates, out to those members and power players in the Democratic Party, try to communicate that message out there. So you see there is now a line of police behind us, a line of bicycle police. Bicycle policing has been used very heavily, and a lot of bicycle police used during this thing. One of the main tactics. Here are the bicycle police, they're moving down. But in contrast to last night's march where the bicycle police were holding the curb line, this time it's not quite as tightly packed. Thousands of people out here. So the Code Pink group is a little bit ahead of us. You can always see the pink with them. Always cut the Code Pink. We talked to Medea Benjamin at the Republican convention. Code Pink is one of those groups that definitely protest both Republicans and the Democrats. Anytime there's an anti-war thing, there's such a common element around. Talk about why you're here today?
I don't want to.
Okay. Do you want audio only, no video? Would that be okay?
I'm here today because I'm here today because I hate Netanyahu. That's why I'm here.
What's jumped out at you this week?
This week?
Yeah.
I haven't been paying attention to the DNC, so nothing. I'm here because I think it's sickening that there is a population that is being annihilated and terrorized and destroyed, and we're not doing a goddamn thing about it, except for supplying the weapons for it to happen. So,
has Chicago been coming out in the last few months?
What's that?
Has Chicago been coming out to protest a lot in the last few months?
I don't know. I'm from Seattle.
Okay.
I flew in from Seattle.
Okay. What's been going on in Seattle?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Anything else you want people to know about this?
Fuck Netanyahu.
Thank you very much. All right. So there's Sean. So the convention center's back there. A couple rows of Chicago riot police here. So they've been trying to keep people from doing anything remotely resembling moving down towards Walcott. Some people are a little bit surprised to see all of these riot police and all this stuff. The United Center's back there. Last night of the DNC happening back there in the background as we are slowly marching back to the east. Yeah, it's a big mixture of people. This whole tail side of the march is not the big organized groups. It's just a much larger mixture of people.
Sorry, can I do a shout out to my wife? Let her know that I'm okay. Shout out to my wife. Let her know I'm okay.
Okay.
Sure, a second.
All right, this guy just wants to live. Okay.
Hi, my honey, my wife. I'm okay. We're all good. I'll see you soon.
What's jumped out at you that you've seen this week?
I only just got here today.
Okay, what have you seen? What have you seen then?
A lot of like communist, socialist presence, like a lot of hammers and sickles. That's kind of what stuck out to me. I mean, a lot of big signs, like the really big signs. That was cool. I thought it was, and the weather is terrific.
Where are you from?
I'm from here.
Okay.
I'm from the south suburbs.
So has Chicago been coming out for this in these last few months?
Yes.
Okay, can you talk about that? What you've seen?
Sure, yeah. A lot of it I see on the news. I don't really know anyone locally that goes to these sorts of things, but I see it all on the news. And I think Chicago has a very rich history of social activism. I mean, a lot of stuff has happened here, good and bad. And I think with the sort of the ghost of 1968 on this, people are, like me, took the day off work to get out and see if anything would happen.
Gotcha. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. I love your channel.
Yeah, thank you. You want to talk about why you're here today? What the sign means? Okay, thanks. All right. So Okay, we see Democratic Socialists of America, DSA. Do you want to talk about why you're here today, sir?
Yeah, we are here to support Gaza, to try to stop the genocide that is happening. It's enough. Enough. A shame on them. A shame on Harris. A shame on Biden.
So you have a sign that says abandon Harris 24.
Yes.
What does that mean? What does
That
that mean to you?
means we are not going to vote for her. Even if she says stop the war today, we are not going to vote for her. We are, if she brings the 40,000 dead and she brings Gaza back, we are not going to vote for her. What they did is criminal. The Nazi didn't do as much as they did. And that's why we are here. We are going to send a message to these idiots.
What have you seen at these protests this week? What's jumped out at you? What have you noticed?
What jumped out at me? All the young people. I'm old. All the young people. These are the nucleus of one day to put Blinken and God willing, Biden and Harris, to put them on a trial. If you support a genocide, if you send arms, if you go murder somebody and you drive the murderer there, he's the same as the murderer. These people are sending weapons, 2,000 bombs for what? To kill one person? To kill one Hamas person? Since when? What is this? This is more than the Nazi. These ought to be jailed. Now, in this country, shame on them to put this country in this type of position.
Are you from Chicago?
Yes, I am.
Wait, has Chicago been coming out? Can you talk about Chicago?
What's that?
What's happened in Chicago in the last few months?
In the last 2 months, we have demonstration almost daily, almost weekly, if not daily. And these people, whatever they say, they are not going to buy our votes. I have many friends, they have the same thing. So they can sugarcoat it. Oh, Biden is trying hard. He's talking to Netanyahu. He's talking, look at Mr. Blinken is Netanyahu's lawyer nowadays. They cannot agree on their lies. One lies, the other one different lie. They are not agreeing on the same lie.
Anything else you want to add? Anything else?
I hope for God's sake, save the souls of the people who are living there. That's all. We are peaceful people, you can see. We demonstrate peacefully. They have a Nazi army here to protect us. What is this? Shame on Chicago PD. Shame on the mayor. Shame on the governor and all of them. What is this? This is nothing. This is peaceful people trying to stop killing, not trying to kill people. And they are making, it's like an arm camp. Come on, stop it. Look at them. A shame on them.
It's been a lot. We've seen dozens of arrests here. We've seen lots of roundups. We've seen arrests.
Heck with them. What's arrest? Arrest is nothing to the people who are, they are not fighting their bodies. They are collecting just few pounds of flesh to bury them, to say, here, we bury these babies, we bury these pregnant women, these women. And he's proud. I will defend Israel. I'll defend it. You are not defending Israel. You are committing genocide yourself. Shame on you. Shame on him. And he goes, I'm a Zionist. My father is a Zionist. Screw you and screw your father, you son of a bitch.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to add, sir?
That's about it.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. I'm out of stickers. I was giving out stickers for our group, but I ran out of stickers. I'm sorry. Unicorn Run. We're live right now. So we went out. They went out. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So as another Chicago resident, talking about the abandoned Harris 24.
We'll never support any Democratic Party for the rest of their life. And I think the young people, it will be the end of the Democratic Party. You'll see.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So that was one of the viewpoints out there. We've seen a lot of the abandoned Harris signs. Like there's been a lot of them out there. People are frustrated with the Democratic Party for not setting this straight. So again, you can see this park next to us has a fresh fence built around it. They did not want protesters taking that green space there at all. It's heavily guarded by these police.
to a couple people today, so I feel she'll be great. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, why are you here today? What have you seen this week?
I'm here because the United States is committing genocide, and that's wrong.
What have you seen this week? Do you feel that this has sent a big message to the convention?
As far as I understand, the convention has not listened to Palestinian people at all. We need an embargo, and it seems like they're just trying to silence that message and try to pretend nothing is happening and go on a strategy of denialism and trying to put people who are vulnerable's lives at stake and pit people against each other.
Okay. Are you from Chicago? Are you from the area?
Yes, I am.
How has Chicago been coming out in the recent months? What have you seen from over the last few months?
Well, I've seen Chicago come out consistently because I've come out multiple times, and I've seen, this is to me the part where I feel humanity in Chicago. These are people who care about other human beings, and I feel that Chicago is making sure that care of humanity is, our priority.
So your sign says Democrats are committing genocide, and it says non-genocidal nominees only. Can you talk about that?
Yes.
BDS, boycott, divestment. Can you talk about that?
To give a few examples, between October and March, Joe Biden approved of 100 arms sales to Israel without Congress. He also signs the bills of sending money to Congress. As they claim that they're fighting tirelessly for a ceasefire, they are sending the money. Joe Biden is arguably the most responsible person on this planet for the genocide that is happening. There is arguably no one more responsible for what's happening right now at this moment than him. And the Democratic Party is exalting him as he commits genocide and trying to pretend that it's happening. And this is fascism right now. This is fascism taking over our country. It's in both parties. And then the denial is dangerous.
So, is there anything giving you hope in these lately? Is there any positive signs that you've seen on the horizon?
The positives on the horizon are all the people here and the global solidarity and the way that the world is waking up, especially Americans, who are some of the most ignorant people on the planet, we are realizing the harm that we do in the world and wanting to do something about it. And the hope is that there's global solidarity for human rights and that we're not selling out people. We're not going to be okay with slavery in Congo or what's happening in Sudan or any of the impacts colonialism is having. We're not settling for our cheap clothes and destroying the planet. People are in solidarity with saying this is garbage and we're not okay with it, and that's where I have a lot of hope.
Okay, cool. Anything else you want to add?
Free Palestine, BDS now, sanctions now, embargo now. If the Democrats had any value of human rights, they would get an embargo done immediately, and they would be scrambling to put limitations on presidential power to commit genocide, and they're not doing that. And everything that they're doing is dangerous, no matter who wins. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. People say now, now, now. Wood Street intersection. A lot of drummers out here. A lot of families, a lot of kids. We're talking to people from Michigan, from Virginia. A lot of obviously Chicago people here. Kids in wagons. All right. So, you want to talk about why you're here today? You want to talk about why you're here today? Okay. What brings you here?
I'm just like amazed at the great turnout. I'm just hoping the city, for everybody's sake, that it's safe and that, like Mayor Richard M. Daley said, the police are not here to create disorder, they're here to preserve disorder. I just hope everything goes well, and I want a fucking ceasefire.
What have you seen this week? What's jumped out at you?
What was really notable is the fact that there were so many different causes and people from all over the world pleading their case for different things, whether it be obviously Palestine, which is one of the most important things, Ukraine, abortion rights, housing rights, immigration rights, everything. It's just been a wonderful display of freedom of speech, and without, knock on wood, without conflict and without any really heinous things happening.
Has Chicago been coming out for Palestine? Have you seen a lot?
Chicago is the largest Palestinian city in the United States. And yes, I have several friends that are Palestinian. I have several friends that are Jewish. It's a very complex situation. I couldn't even talk to you about it right now, but there should be a ceasefire. And from what I'm hearing, there's one on the table. So let's hope he doesn't get fucked up.
Cool. Anything else you want to add? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, we're gonna move along the side. So we got two lines of cops, or bike police, and then another line of Chicago police behind it. The United Center, the National Special Security Event Zone is to the south. There's a gate way back there, wall back there. Trains are rumbling overhead. So it's like thousands of people today. This was a big turnout today. It is a big turnout. So we're just going to move ahead. See Chicago Democratic Socialists. All right. Hey. All right. Yeah, like a really wide range of different groups. A lot of drummer groups. Free Gaza signs. Globalize the Intifada sign. Chow. What have you seen this week?
Well, I missed the Poor People's Army because I have a bad back, which isn't doing me any good right now. Well, that's a good question. I'm from the '68 generation. I wasn't here then, but I came with the Yippies, Youth International Party, and I think it's a real problem right now. I don't like Harris, but I don't know what else to do. But I really feel strongly that the Democrats have caused this, and the Republicans, and I'm just like marching with everybody else. I know this isn't as much help. And I'm with the press too, but I'm not going to report it.
What's jumped out at you this week?
Pardon?
What have you noticed this week? What's jumped out at you?
Well, just tonight, so many people. I'm just astounded by this. We were at the park, and I don't think there was that many people there. I don't know where they came from. But it's really exciting to see. They're trying to send the message to the Dems. I don't know if they're going to get it. They probably won't. But something has to be done. We got to, the genocide has to stop. The U.S. government has to stop funding Israel. Israel's dead as far as I'm concerned. I have friends that live in Israel, and they're like rabid Zionists. It's like, oh my God. And, as far as I'm concerned, it's just dead. Just go away.
Anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to add?
Not really. I mean, I have some Palestinian friends, but, they have family in Gaza, but they don't know what's going on. I mean, they've lived in America all their lives, and they don't have, big contacts with them. But yeah, I don't think anything else, but, I mean, this is huge. I know one thing. 32 years ago, I was in the Soviet Union for the fall. I was in the Soviet Union, living in St. Petersburg with the fall of the Soviet Union. And I was out there on the streets at Lenso. And now I'm marching with a bunch of people who are saying, communist revolution is the solution. It's a real irony. But, it just keeps on going and going and going, generation after generation.
All right, cool.
Hey, who are you with?
Unicorn Riot. Unicorn Riot.
I know you guys. What?
Yeah, we're live right now. So
Oh,
thank
okay.
You. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so the march is slowly making its way east, back to Union Park. We haven't seen any arrests. There was a little bit of conflict with counter-demonstrators this week and today, but not much. Just, there's always going to be a little bit of that. We didn't see much. Hey, you want to talk off camera with me? Step right over here. All right. So we're going to situate here for a second. So you see, to globalize the Intifada, fight the U.S. war machine. That's a PSL sign. All right. Again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing our work. At Independent Media, we're not the big corporate guys. We don't spend money advertising our stuff. We just want to get out to these things and talk to people and find out about the bigger trends that are going on. So during the DNC, we've seen noise demos. We saw about 70 arrests happen from the protests outside the Israeli consulate that snaked around. We've seen plenty of arrests. The police did not use pepper spray on people. We could have seen worse. So I think that was a bit of a relief for everybody that there wasn't more violence from the police. But it's been a large presence of police. They push people out. They clear people out. They don't let people march a lot of the time. There's been a lot of that. The National Special Security event was funded to the tune of $75 million for security going into the Chicago police. Thanks for tuning in. We're a couple blocks away from Union Park right now. So there's a pretty big batch of, bike police in this area. So maybe you want to talk about why you're here today? You want to talk about why you're here?
Yeah, because it's a genocide, it's horrible, and it shouldn't be. The Democrats are taking bankers' money. They keep offering me 700% match. Where are they getting that? From the bankers that are funding the wars.
I'm here to tell the Democrats that we're not going to accept this anymore.
that we are human beings, and it's ridiculous that we have to ask to be human beings in our full rights.
What have you seen this week here in Chicago?
I'm from California. My family lives here, and like, this is the people's power. This is how I grew up. And we were always on the margins. So this is nothing new. It's just a continuation of how we live in this country as Palestinians.
I'm here today to let the Democratic National Convention attendees know that we do not support genocide. And as long as they support genocide, they're not going to have our votes. And what I saw here and what I've been seeing since the onset of this genocide is a community, a coalition of people of color coming together for a common cause, and not just for Palestine, but for climate justice, against sexual violence, and peace and humanity.
All right, and thank you very much. Anything else you wanted to add?
Just like for all oppressed people, it's not just Palestine. This is an intersection of all kinds of issues and oppressions.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So those folks are with Code Pink. They said defund war, refund communities on their banner. Hey, do you want to talk?
I don't know if you remember me from
What have you seen today? What's your take right now? What have you seen?
Today? I think the whole week, I feel like we're living inside of a video game and going from one thing to the other, trying to bring the message of Palestine into a space that is avoiding it. And, you know, having someone last night speak from Israel, but not even allowing someone from Palestine to take the stage, that's the bare minimum. If this administration is going to separate themselves from the Biden administration, they need to act. People are sick and tired of billions of dollars going to war. Well, we need money for housing and healthcare and the climate crisis. I mean, the Pentagon is the biggest polluter in the world, and it was before October 7th. The Palestine is a climate justice issue, a feminist issue. We went in and disrupted a couple of feminism things.
What happened at these events? Can you talk about it? Well, wait a second. For the train to go by. We're underneath the L in Chicago. What happened at these events? Can you tell us about that?
I mean, when I said before, I feel like we're living in a video game. We've been going to different side events that are around feminism and, bringing in feminist issues, right? Palestine is a feminist issue. We've gone in and we've listened, and then when they're not acknowledging the issue at all, we've disrupted. We've been talking about the significance of all of the women and children that have been murdered, have been bombed in Palestine, and for them to chant, people would then chant USA when we start bringing this message. That is the type of stuff when people ask us, why don't you go protest the Republicans? Democrats have been carrying out the genocide of the Palestinian people. We need to be demanding to them to make a difference. So, yeah.
Do you think that it's pushed that message to the convention, that the delegates have been starting to hear it, that it's put a cloud over the convention, that this issue is going on? Can you talk about that?
We have been bringing this message from the inside, from the outside. You know, we've been listening, we've been questioning, then we've also been educating, passing out materials to folks, having the uncommitted movement, trying to work from inside, having the people out here from the outside. They can't ignore us. Biden acknowledged that he heard us in the streets. Great, acknowledge us by having policy. Yes, we're pushing Kamala, but Biden still has 5 months left in his administration, and that's 5 more months of a genocide that is being carried out by the people. So if they can continue to choose to ignore us, the mainstream media can choose to ignore us, but we will not let that happen. We will not be complicit in this. I'm from Washington, D.C. There's a delegation of us there. We have been on the streets. We have had encampments outside of Blinken's house, outside of the Israeli embassy, in Congress, side actions led by different groups, whether they're organized or autonomous. We came here because the belly of the beast needs to be disrupted, and we need to bring the people everywhere. We need more people out here protesting with us. It's an immigration issue, a climate issue, a racial and economic justice issue. The intersections could not be more prevalent, and we need to continue the pressure.
What groups have you been working with?
Yeah. So I am part of a group in DC. We're building out this DC local to global solidarity network. But we have been working across all different ones, whether it's dissenters, the Palestinian Youth Movement, Code Pink, and then also autonomous groups as well.
What else? I mean, I guess on a strategic level with organizers, what's been working? What have you seen break through the ice? What's been working?
I think the biggest thing that's been working is building community. We have been building and living the world we want instead by being out in the streets. I mean, whether it's been through the student encampments or the encampments that we have outside of Blinken's house or outside of the embassy, or joining a group and coming to things like this, we've been, through the mutual aid, through like feeding each other and nourishing each other, using political education out here together. We are strengthening ourselves, our minds, our bodies, and our souls. And people who are incredibly isolated, whether it was after COVID, other things, want to be part of this. So I think us just having this mirror world, like the world that we want instead, up against the war machine has been, for me, the biggest win. I think the fact that other organizing folks who didn't bring on anti-militarism before finally are, and they're seeing that link, I think that's a big organizing win. It's shifting. Yeah.
So you think it is shifting? Like there's a shift in the climate?
I think it's shifting the climate amongst the people. We know that beyond 80% of people have wanted a ceasefire months ago. People, when we talk to everyday working class people, they want their money going to housing and healthcare and education. They don't want it to go to the war machine. However, the mainstream media does a very good job at furthering propaganda that they think that just voting will mean that thing. Hope is active. Hope is a verb. We need to continue to put the pressure on. That is going to make the empire crumble.
Anything else you want to add?
Thank you for for being this voice of the people. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Again, thanks everyone. Being in the Midwest after line 3 has been really, I'm just talking about the intersection of seeing a lot of folks out here from line 3 now. It shows us like we're going to be in the streets for our lifetime. We need to continue to build this life. So thank you all.
So if you want to learn more about Line 3, you can go to Unicorn Riot's website. Our colleague Alex spent about a month and a half up there. Line 3 was a project in northern Minnesota, the Enbridge project. And we also know that similar to this, there were mobile field force trainings to break down potential protests around Line 3. The Minnesota state government, led by Governor Tim Walz, did not want to see something like Standing Rock happening at Line 3. So there was actually very extensive policing of that, and that's something which has gone a bit under the radar. So that was the reference to Line 3, which is happened in Minnesota a couple of years back. So the march moved a little bit for a second. Again, we went out here the fourth day of the Democratic National Convention. We're here next to the Code Pink folks right now. Interesting to hear from that organizer based in DC about how these things work. Slide up this side a little bit. So there's 3 lines of police deep, 2 lines of bicycle police, then 1 line of riot police behind them, making 3 lines, preventing anybody from turning south on Hermitage. Hey. Good to see you, man. Let's say hi to Facebook. All right. So March again is starting to move slowly. You want to talk about why you're here today?
I just came here to see the parade, and I'm stuck. They won't let me through.
Oh no, they won't let you back to your house?
No.
What's it been like to be living near such a huge security operation? Can you talk about that?
It's good, but I can't get home. I just want to go home.
Is it frustrating in a way? Yeah. We've heard that before. We've talked to other people that live near these events, and then they can't get to their house and stuff like that. And that's what's happening to you right now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear it. Anything else you want to add? Okay, thank you very much. So I've talked to multiple people that have been unable to, easily access their houses when they live next to these national special security events that take over their neighborhood. So we got the Vets for Peace here again.
Long live the Intifada.
We're live right now. Anyone you want to talk?
Sure. Who are you with?
With the Unicorn Riot. We cover protests.
Okay, awesome.
So what brings you here? What have you seen today? What have you seen this week?
Well, we're a group of veterans that are coming together to, number one, demand a ceasefire. Number two, end all weapons aid to Israel. We understand what self-defense is. What we're watching is a genocide. It's not self-defense, and that's a red line for all of us. We come from all over different political ideologies, etc. But what we're doing here is holding the line against a genocide.
So when did Vets for Peace, did that start around the Iraq War?
Actually, you're thinking about a group called About Face. All the people behind me, there's multiple groups here, Veterans for Peace, About Face, people that aren't even in a group. We're just all collaborating together because we all agree on one thing, that we can't be complicit in a genocide.
So there's a feeling in the veterans community that you should stand up and do something about this?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, because we swore an oath to protect our country and to protect the Constitution. Our government is so corrupt right now that they don't stand on any integrity. They don't stand with any truth and honesty, and we know what that means to stand with integrity, and we're doing that today.
Okay. What are you from?
That's just what a couple of hillbillies can do. Like, let's show these fascists what a couple of hillbillies can do. I don't know. There's not much else to it than that.
Excellent. Anything else you want to add?
I appreciate your work, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Cool. All right. Sorry. All right. So it's been moving slowly, slower than I might have expected for a minute after a lot of these marches have moved along pretty quick. And so now it's been mostly static for quite a while. So what brings you here? What have you seen? Sorry.
Come on through. Careful.
So what brings you here today? What have you seen?
Just being disillusioned by the Democratic Party more and more every year. The more you learn and the more I feel left of the party, I keep going further and further left, and I just feel completely unrepresented at the DNC.
Are you from Chicago?
Yeah, it's just outside in the suburbs, west suburbs.
So has Chicago been coming out strong over the course of this thing?
Yeah, and I don't think that should be a surprise. Chicago has the largest population of Palestinian Americans in the country. If they thought everybody was going to stay inside, they thought wrong. I think it's been building up all week, and this is one of the best demonstrations I've ever been to. It's very organized. We have safety people in yellow vests all along the lines because we keep us safe. CPD doesn't keep us safe today. I think the organizers did a great job, and I feel very safe. I feel very effective and heard.
Do you feel like the protests have put a message to the Democrats and to the delegates that something should change? Like, do you feel it's put a sort of energy or cloud over the convention at all?
Yeah, I think that message has been delivered time and time again over the last 320 days. I think that's why we're so frustrated. The uncommitted movement has made quite a stand. Over hundreds of thousands of people decided to not vote along Democratic Party lines. And I think it's time to be heard. I don't think Kamala can win without at least acknowledging this movement and the feelings that we have about it and how strong it is and how strong we are.
Has there anything been giving you hope lately, like a positive feeling about
this night? I mean, I've been feeling really disillusioned for months. So, I mean, this night, seeing it, the uncommitted movement gave me hope. I'm just so disappointed in the fact that the Democratic Party, again, in the DNC,
elevated train. We're in Chicago. Say that again.
I just feel, a lot of things have been giving me hope, but at every turn, I feel like the Democratic Party has every chance to listen and to make change and move forward, and they just keep taking 2 steps back. So.
Okay, cool. Anything else you want to add?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, the march started moving. Timing. Well, thank you. So thank you all for joining us. So we see a kind of a emoji sign right there. Democratic Party with clown emojis. We support pray, 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 killing children, killing aid workers, killing journalists, bombing hospitals. We don't support, hands crossed, bad debate performances and students protesting. America and the world deserve better. So that's the only sign I've seen with emojis so far on that. It's been moving slow, so we're wondering why it hasn't been moving. So this thing has been stopped for a while. I see other signs like Philippines stands with Palestine, some stuff like that. Resistance is justified. Yeah. The left side's pretty close. All right. We're going to see if we can get around the left side. We'll go this way. Excuse me. All right. We have these like corporate news team of 5. The squeaky train. More police up here. Get this big sign right here. Big sign. What brings you here? Huh? Why are you here?
The children in Gaza. The children. All those children that are dying with our tax dollars. They don't have money for schools. They don't have money for health care. The veterans are sleeping under the bridge. I'm a U.S. veteran. They're sleeping under the bridge. But they have money for people who are not American citizens. They don't vote. They don't pay federal taxes. That's Ukraine and Israel. They send billions and billions. That's why I'm here, for the children of Israel. Okay. I mean, both Israel and Palestine.
What have you seen this week that's jumped out at you?
Just look at the diversity, all the diversity, all the different organizations here.
Anything else you want to answer?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. The march has started moving again after a really long pause. As he pointed out, right, it's like a lot of different types of people out here at this. It's not all just the usual types. You see one that says, gays for Gaza. Again, we got the ultra-Orthodox moved along here as well. Ooh, they always come out for all of this. You want to talk about why you're here today? You can be off camera if you want.
Well, we're definitely here to take a stand against the occupation of Palestine. We're here to take a stand against Elbit Systems. It is an Israeli apartheid corporation that is not only responsible for the walls of apartheid and separation in Palestine, but also for the walls of separation here along the so-called U.S.-Mexico border. We're here to take a stand against the administration, the Biden-Harris administration, and here to apply the pressure that's necessary to end the genocide. We're here to expose the contradictions between what's taking place inside the convention, which is this facade of joy. Wow.
What's jumped out at you this week?
the contradiction of the Biden-Harris administration, and specifically the incoming Harris administration, trying to uphold this facade of joy while this genocide is undergoing. It's very clear from the position that Netanyahu and his far-right government has taken that this is about exterminating a population. It's about continuing the occupation. And yeah, I just feel like we...
Particularly. Okay, thank you. All right.
Yeah. Yeah,
man. Thanks. Anything else you want to add?
Man, free Palestine, fuck the police, we need liberation.
Thank you very much, thank you. All right, there's a lot of riot police to our left, like about 20. We're up by the sound system, so we're pretty much up at the front again. This march has been moving plenty slow. We're at Polina and Lake Street right now, moving east. So, let these bike. So the march is moving again. Not too far back to Union Park. It's about 8:40. So, and we just talked to that young person who was a resident in the neighborhood, and they can't access their house because the police are blocking them out of their house right now. It's supposed to be pretty frustrating. I've seen that before. You want to talk about why you're here today? You want to talk about why you're here?
I'd rather not be on camera.
Okay, off camera? Off camera?
Yeah.
Okay. Off camera. All right, go ahead, yeah. What brings you here? We're live on Unicorn Riot.
To protest against the DNC. Let them know, man. You can't be complicit in genocide and then just expect people to vote for you.
What's been encouraging this week? What have you seen that's jumped out this week?
Not too much. Coming to the protest, seeing people seeing that this is the base they should be appealing to, and they're losing it.
I can chime in. The biggest thing I've seen is that they didn't let a Palestinian speak at the DNC convention. We saw the uncommitted movement sitting outside. They were FaceTime with AOC and all these people, and they weren't allowed to speak. And they had some of the hostage families, speaking, which is okay. But why not also give a Palestinian a chance to speak, especially when the first casualty from this on U.S. soil was in Illinois with Wadea Fayumi.
Is there anything that's been giving you hope in recent months? Have you seen anything about things changing? Anything giving you hope?
I've never seen such diversity at a protest in my whole life. I've been protesting since I was a child. I've been to Palestine. I've never seen this before.
Yeah, it's not a nationalistic movement, it's not a political movement, it's a human movement. And these are the people who should be getting the Dems elected, and they're not gonna do it.
Anything else you want to add?
No, they just have to win our vote. They need to change, and they need to be having a platform that shows humanity and not just an old car with a new bumper sticker.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time tonight. Thank you. Say we're live on Unicorn Riot. Thanks. Have a good night. Stay safe. Chicago. It's loud. So the bicycle police have resumed slowly going down the sidewalk on the left. So there's been bike police marching along on the left. Talk about why you're here today?
Palestine, dude.
Cool. All right. All right. So I think we are slowly but surely
Palestine!
What brings you here today? What have you seen?
I've seen like tremendous unity and organization, tremendous energy. It's been a long night. Here to protest what's happening in Palestine. U.S. imperialism is a global issue. Everything is all connected. The more that this goes on, the worse everything's going to get for everybody.
So, has there anything been giving you hope? Is there anything making you feel positive after these months?
No. I'm so sorry. I wish I could say yes. I think this movement is incredible. I don't see the DNC budging. I do think the DNC is going to win in the election regardless of how this movement pans out. But the numbers here, the energy here, it's incredible to see. Yeah.
Are you from Chicago?
Yeah.
I have a lot of people have been coming out in Chicago. Can you talk about the city?
What's that?
Have you talked about the city and how people have been coming out about this issue in Chicago? And can you talk about the protest in Chicago?
This is the first protest I've been to of these past 4 days. But I was watching you guys actually cover the ones downtown the other night. Yeah. How has the crowd been compared to the other past nights?
I mean, this might be bigger than the first day. I'm not sure, but it seems like a lot of people.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anything else you want to add?
No, it's all right. Free Palestine. Thank you.
Okay, cool. All right. We've slowly we're about to get back to Union Park, so we're finally on the tail end of this thing. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for sharing our work. You can support our work at unicornriot.ninja/donate. Shoot us a donation. Share our work. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Insta. We're on X, Twitter, Blue Sky, Mastodon, Vimeo. You know, it's like independent media. We try to get out here, talk to the people that are in the middle of this thing. Excuse me. Okay, thank you. So we're live right now on Unicorn Riot. What is the message on your sign about Philippines?
So the Philippines has been.
Sorry.
I'm just sick and tired of U.S. militarization and all over the world, including the Philippines. The Philippines is haunted by the U.S., where the U.S. says bitches with military, and we're just fed up. We're sick of it. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired that this country, going back to the United States, our country doesn't have free healthcare. Who does? Israel. And whose dime? Our fucking dime. If dying kids aren't pissing you off, that should. If you're in medical debt, that should piss you off.
So your sign says Philippines stands with Palestine, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Filipino.
Okay. What should people know about American colonialism with the Philippines? In short.
Well, to make it short.
Sorry.
I mean, they've been going there with Spain for at least like 400 years, and a lot of Filipinos are for the U.S., and then there are people that actually understand history that the U.S. just takes advantage of the Philippines. I mean, even talking about why so many nurses are in the United States that are Filipino, that whole shebang. I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but fuck Israel. Not Jewish people. I have Jewish descent. There's a difference. Fuck the colony of Israel. I'm sick of the colonies of America, including parts of the Philippines. I just want all of us, I don't know, live, dude. Just want us to live.
Anything else you want to add? Or what have you seen this week? What have you seen this week that got your attention?
It's been like this well before this week. It's been like this well before October. It's been like this since well before 2023, since 2021. It's been like this since the 1800s. Obviously, I haven't been alive in the 1800s, but if anyone reads fucking history, you'll know. Free Palestine, please. Not even in a violent way at all. But if it takes violence, it will.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So people are cheering. Get it up high, maybe. We're back here at this is the end of the march. We're back here at Union Park now. We're back here at Union Park. It is loud. It is loud. A lot of people. Check. We're okay. People are chanting, "I believe we will win." It's a lot of people. There's been a ton of energy out here. We will win. We will win. It's a lot of people. It's been high energy the whole time. A lot of people. That's a lot of people. Thank you all for tuning in. Day 4 of Democratic National Convention protest here in West Chicago. We're at the northwest corner of Union Park. There are thousands of people here. Thousands of people. Bike police are lining the north side. Riot police are lining the streets on the north side. So thank you all for tuning in. Legal observers, medics, lots of people. Hey. All right, so we're going to try to take a look over here. So riot police are blocking Ashland. Riot police blocking Ashland. All right. Police still blocking Ashland. They got more vans to the north. There's even more police farther north, so we're definitely trying not to let anybody get north at all. basically, this is the front of the march here, or one of the main sound systems. So, riot police are blocking Lake Street to the east. So they're blocking it to the east and to the north. In other words, the police are trying to make sure everyone gets funneled back into the park. There are people on the stairs that are watching what's going on. Some people are taking photos out there. We are near a line of marshals, which sort of defines the front of the march. A lot of the organizers are right up here at this front area. A lot of big signs. A lot of the main banners right here. It's been a big march. All right. There's a lot of police. Okay. So they're gonna try to execute a right turn. You see a lot of police. This is weird, right? The police are blocking the street. The police are blocking Ashland. And so I think they're gonna want to try to get everyone into the park and prevent them from being on the street, which has been one of the main tactics that we've seen. This is another one of the main police commanders right here with the and they're turning south off of Lake onto Ashland towards Union Park. So we see the main protest organizers right up here, right in the center of it. So do you want to talk about why you're here today? Do you want to start how the week has been? Okay, it's been a long day. Really? Yeah, thank you. Oh, it's nice. Yeah. Thank you. So, all right, so this march is moving slowly. The police have made kind of an angled shape to move people leftwards off of Ashland, off of the organizers are trying to move people slowly so that they don't get compressed, and they're trying to angle. But I would say the riot police don't look tense. I see some of the commanders are right up at the front of that, right there, where our colleague Alex is taking pictures. Right behind them are some of the police commanders that we've been seeing all week are right there, behind these organizers that are right here in front of us. So I just sort of would say that the coordination of the police is all happening right here, right in front of us. Right in front of us. You want to talk about why you're here today? You want to talk about it? Okay. All right. You want to talk about why you're here? You want to talk? Yeah, everyone's lost their voice. Everyone's shouted out. Yeah. All right. So it's like honestly, the police have made this a little tighter than they needed to, right? The police have made more of a choke point right here than they needed to, because now people are pinched between the stairway and the bus ramp and all this other stuff. So the police have made an excessively narrow space, and I think the organizers are trying to figure out how they're going to marshal.
Everyone on the side, let's move it. Come on,
they're trying to. All right. So the marshals moved. All right.
We're over here for Palestine to end the occupation and to get a ceasefire, also to stop the DNC from everything they're doing, because we're not being heard. They're saying that they're going to call for a ceasefire, but that's just all a bunch of lies just to get, the votes and everything. So we're here to show support for Palestine and show that there's something's got to happen, and we need to change with all the bombings and everything, like the rape, the Palestinian people that are wrongfully imprisoned and then raped, and everything else that's going on. And as you can see, we're out here by the thousands just trying to make a difference with everybody.
What have you seen this week that's caught your attention?
The amount of people that's come out over here to support for Palestine, to stop everything that's going on, to show face and voice so that there could be a difference being made.
Is there anything that you've seen lately that's given you hope, that's given you a sense of positivity
Yeah, I mean, the world is waking up. A lot more people are joining all of these things every month. We've been out here for 10 months, like he said, and there's a lot more people showing up every single time. A lot of people are waking up and seeing all the bullshit and seeing through all the propaganda that's been put out.
Are you from Chicago?
Yes, I am.
Has Chicago been coming out? Can you talk about Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago's always been coming out. We've been coming out. I've been coming to protest in Chicago since 2008. And it's 2024 right now. I'm 26 years old. I've been coming here out of this world. It's amazing.
Anything else you want to add?
No.
So the march is slowly moving back. We got the marshals right behind us. It's a bit of a squeeze, right? It's a squeeze going with the police. Easy, easy, easy. All right. So large black flag over us. Marshals right here. They're, you know, so the police. So like basically the police made this whole process slower than they needed to, right? Because if you look to our left, the police have already taken up this whole lane, right? And they've created a sort of wedge shape. But the wedge shape is really much narrower than it needs to be. And that's created a pinch because there's a metal fence on the left. And so a huge march is being put in a constricted pinch point by the police, which has slowed down the whole process. These corners did not take so long to negotiate. Last night, it was the same corner got made, and so we're just sort of waiting around, essentially, really because the police have made this space too narrow. Hey, Alex, what have you seen today? You can take it.
I mean, so I was overhearing some of the, not only are they literally kind of look like them with their vests, but some of their actions, frankly, are similar to law enforcement. Just objectively, they are acting similar to law enforcement. And then we've spoken to some activists today, at least I did. I interviewed someone who echoed that sentiment of feeling like they were being policed by those folks. But either way, yeah, there have been thousands of people marching today, as this is the last day of the DNC. There's a group here today that I didn't notice previously, a big contingent of veterans who are actually against what's happening in Palestine, against the U.S. military and the U.S. government aiding in the genocide happening there, is what they were describing, these U.S. military veterans. And so that was really interesting, seeing a big contingent of them here today during this march. So that seemed like it was new. And I mean, you know, still hundreds and hundreds of law enforcement here. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's dark now, the sun's down, it's about 9 p.m. and the rally today started at about 3:30. Wait, 3:35? Started at 5, sorry, 3:30 was yesterday. The rally today started at about 5 p.m. and then the march, you know, started, and the march has been going on for, I'd say, almost 2 hours, to be honest. We're being told to watch out and to move back by the marshals as the march is continuing to move toward the park, but they're trying to maintain space on the street still.
Let's go to the sidewalk.
We're gonna shift to the sidewalk here. It's a bit crowded right now. People are kind of being squished off into the sidewalk, but folks are chanting, "Killer Kamala is her name," and "Killing children is her game." Some folks I was talking to today also were talking about how Kamala is currently in a role in leadership where she could right now use her voice and use her power to stop aid in Israel. So, you know, it's not just whether she gets elected or not. She currently is the vice president, and she does have some power. And so that's what some folks were saying today, that it's not just a potential future thing she could do, it's something she could do right now.
yeah, there are thousands of people here still marching this evening in Chicago, Illinois, protesting the Democratic National Convention. This is the fourth and final day of the convention. And there have been protests every single day this week, varying in degrees of rowdiness. There have been some break-off marches and break-off protests that have happened where interactions with police have been a bit more feistier and rowdier. This is what seems to be more of a tamer march. And a lot of the marches and protests that have happened all week have had a strong message of free Palestine, like they're chanting right now. So the march is turning back into Union Park right now. And on the left are the contingent of rabbis opposed to Zionism who have been here all week. These rabbis have been marching every day this week, and we spoke with them yesterday, I believe, and they were talking about how the tradition and history of Judaism is actually against Zionism and against statehood, such is Israel. So, like, some of their signs talk about that. They say authentic rabbis always opposed Zionism and the state of Israel. And as you can see, they have Palestinian flags. Two people have Palestinian ribbon scarves. Marshals seem to be yelling more at people, but it seems like the march is moving forward again. There are multiple different sections of the march. The first half of the march arrived about 30 minutes ago at the park, and some of those people already left the area. This is like the second half of the march, which is still really massive. And there are multiple different banners. So this banner is an official March on the DNC 2024 one. And the March on the DNC 2024 is a coalition of over 200 different groups that are protesting the DNC this week. So the march is still continuing toward Union Park, but is going in different sections, as I was just describing, because there are different sections with different types of banners in front, which is why the march has been taking such a long time, but also with the purpose of taking up as much space as possible for as long as possible and making as much noise for as long as possible, hoping that folks inside the convention center, which is only a block away, will be able to hear them. There is a police line behind on the other side of the road where folks are on right now, and folks are turning into Union Park. There are still hundreds of bicycle police here, in addition to hundreds of police on foot. There are also a lot of Chicago police inside the metro station and standing on top of the metro station bridge or overpass. They've been there for a little while now. We also spoke with some folks from Ohio. Separately from the stream, I interviewed a small contingent from one of three encampments, pro-Palestinian encampments that is actually still ongoing in the United States. I spoke with them earlier tonight, so hopefully we'll get some media about them coming out soon, but they were talking about how it's over 120 days of their encampment happening somewhere in Ohio. I forget the exact city, but so that we spoke with them earlier. And so there are all different types of people here from different parts of the country converging. Can keep converging here at this national event. People, different political beliefs. There are communists here, anarchists here, all different types of people from different religious and political and economic and ethnic backgrounds converging to protest the DNC. And again, this is the last day of the DNC. There are also still a bunch of National Lawyers Guild folks here keeping an eye and doing legal observing. So the march is still entering the park off of the road. There have been some puppets this week. One is coming up right now. Oh, it turned already, but there was also a really massive piece of art. I spoke to one of the artists or one of the people involved, and she was saying how they shipped it from the Middle East. So they were holding two really long wooden stakes, and in the middle was like a big white sheet that had painting on it. And they said that it was actually shipped over from the Middle East, and it was a piece of art that was describing like bleeding hearts for what the cause is. Folks are chanting Gaza now and jumping and dancing in the middle of the street. To a lot of the similar signs and banners that we're seeing that say "End U.S. aid to Israel," stand with Palestine. We've also been seeing a lot of artwork on display, including some puppets, like really large puppets. I'm seeing a few different missiles in the distance. One says, trying to read it, it says $450 million spent, and they've only, it's hard to read, but they're saying facts, I think, about how much money is being spent on U.S. aid to Israel. And of course, tonight there are still hundreds, if not thousands, of Palestinian flags flying. Intifada revolution is being chanted. There's another missile cutout over here. I'm trying to read what it says. One of the sides, it says equals 386 CTA buses. $224 million spent. Yeah, 224 million spent equals 386 CTA buses is what that one cutout says. The other side of it says 14,000 2K pound bombs have been sent to Israel. So this is in front of Union Park in Chicago, Illinois. There are still hundreds of protesters rallying. At the height of the rally and march today, there were thousands of people. It has dwindled a bit, but there are still a lot of protesters here this evening. Folks are chanting "Long Live Palestine." So what we're showing right now is only part of the march and the crowd. There are still some folks are congregating in Union Park, which is behind us. All right, the rest of the march now seems to be going into Union Park. The puppet. So that's actually a puppet of Kamala Harris. Yeah, so that's a puppet of Kamala with red ribbons hanging from her hands, which seem to signify blood on her hands. So yeah, that last section of the march is now moving into Union Park in Chicago, Illinois, where there are even more protesters converging. There might be some more speakers or some more programming happening, unclear at this point, but So we're just moving through the crowd here at Union Park. There's probably still at least 1,000 people here. So this is the last day of the Democratic National Convention. Again, the main message for all of the protests this week has been a pro-Palestine one.
Sounds pretty badass.
Yeah, if you want. Turn this way. There we go. Yeah, if you want to introduce yourself and you can describe why you're here today and what it's been like to be here.
Yeah, sure. I'm Alex from Chicago, born and raised, Jewish. I'm out here to protest the DNC for their stance on their foreign policy on specifically Israel and Palestine. And it's been awesome. It's so peaceful. Everyone is really welcoming, and it's just great energy to be out here.
And as a Jewish person, like, how do you feel personally about what Israel's been doing?
I feel ashamed. I feel like I'm actively in danger because what they're doing is a disgrace upon Judaism, upon the Jewish diaspora. It's like endangering people everywhere, and that's all like beside the actual killing they were doing for like Israel killing, in the West Bank and in Gaza.
And what do you hope will come out of this march and the other protests that have happened this week?
Well, hopefully we'll move the needle. I mean, I'm somebody who's always voted blue my whole life, and for the first time I'm not really wanting to vote blue, and until I see the, Kamala, the running candidate, to change her position and actually but actually get us a permanent ceasefire. Instead of just give us lip service, actually change something,
And yeah, I mean, I've heard some people say, I know Elon Omar said yesterday or the day before that Kamala's been saying a lot, but she could actually just choose to help stop actually sending the money over.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's like the second most powerful person in the country right now, and I believe if she really wanted a ceasefire, we'd have a ceasefire tonight. So.
What would you say to folks who are saying this type of movement or this type of march is hindering democracy, or is going to make Trump win and then that will hinder democracy?
I mean, if Trump wins, that would definitely be a bad thing for democracy, but you can't just democracy doesn't work by saying you vote for us because we're not them. You have to earn somebody's vote. You can't just not be you can't not be Hitler. You can be I'm not Hitler, vote for me. You have to actually earn our vote.
And you said you were born and raised in Chicago.
Yeah.
What has it felt like having the DNC here?
Oh, I felt like it's kind of nice that I can protest on a large scale without having to leave my home city, so it's nice.
Has it felt what has it felt having thousands upon thousands of people here, including all these influential politicians?
It's cool. I feel like I actually have a chance to be, right outside the United Center and actually hopefully have my voice heard, but that's the hope, so I don't know if it'll actually happen or not.
Is there anything else you want to add?
I just want to say, I guess the most mainstream media hasn't really represented us and our cause very well, so it's good to see Unicorn Riot out here. Free Palestine.
Thank you for speaking.
Yeah, thank you. Are you guys on YouTube or?
Yeah, I can give you one of our cards.
Are you a relatively new?
We've been around for almost 10 years.
Oh wow! Okay. All right. Well, good luck.
Yeah, thank you so much. So that was Alex. They said they were born and raised in Chicago, and that they're a Jewish individual, and that they feel ashamed from what Israel has been doing, and they were saying how they hope Kamala just makes the ceasefire actually happen and doesn't just keep talking about it and actually makes that tangible, actionable thing occur. So there are still over 1,000, I would say, protesters here converging at Union Park in downtown Chicago, Illinois. This is the fourth and final day of the official Democratic National Convention. In addition to the very politicized major national event, there's been a couple different counter conferences happening this week by different groups, more like leftist groups. One has been called F the GNC, and the other, I forget what it's called, but there are just two different types of counter conferences, and they've had different panels and discussions and teach-ins and workshops all week where folks have been able to jump in and attend and learn and together and maintain different space together. So there have been a lot of different types of events. The screen's just gonna be black for a minute or two. We gotta switch out a battery really fast, but we'll be back to you all in just a moment here. Thanks for watching. In addition to the over 1,000 or so protesters remaining in the park, there are probably even more than that in law enforcement officers that are surrounding the entire perimeter. There's this group that is continuing to chant with holding a bunch of different banners and signs, and in other areas of the park there's a bunch of folks just sitting down and meeting and sharing with each other.
Still plenty of riot back there.
Yeah, so the police in their different forms, riot police, bike police, all different types, are still fully in the perimeter of the park. There are folks in the park, the protesters are chanting "Ceasefire now." On Tuesday evening, there were 72 people arrested outside the Israeli consulate. And later that evening, there was a smaller protest outside the salt shed, where the governor of Illinois was hosting a private celebratory event for the DNC where famous musicians performed, and no one was arrested there, but there were over 100 police officers there for only about 40 or 50 protesters outside of the salt shed on Tuesday evening after the 72 were arrested. And that 72 number includes at least 3 journalists. 3 journalists were arrested on Tuesday evening. Yesterday, there was a march similar to this one. And then really late in the night, at about 1 or 2 a.m. this morning, there was a noise demo nearby the hotel where Kamala Harris has been staying. And that lasted for about an hour. And we were actually live during that and covered that event, which you can check out at unicornriot.ninja. I think there's just one. I think that's all. No, I think that's a helicopter. There's still a drone up ahead. There's been at least one police drone on top of every single event that we've been covering this week, and usually 2 police helicopters as well. Thanks for continuing to tune in. This is Alex with Unicorn Riot. We have a team here on the ground in Chicago, Illinois. We've been here for the entire week of the DNC, covering the protests surrounding this historic national event. The majority of the protests the entire week, if not all of them, have been pro-Palestine, and that has been the main message to end the genocide and the occupation in Palestine. We have a few folks here who are going to be interviewed. Let's move a little bit further this way, just to this now. No, of course, yeah. Yeah, so if you want to state your name, you don't have to, and talk about what your sign says.
Sure. Well, my sign says "Help the Ashur family." They are a family of 40 who are all miraculously still alive in Gaza right now. They are trying to fundraise to escape Gaza once the border reopens. They're trying to get to a family member in Ireland. And this is a quote. I asked Manar, who's 25, she's the person I've been in contact with for this family, and this was her message, is just to let everyone know truly how tired they are. They're drinking dirty water and getting sick. They're passing long days in a hot tent, and it's really just not a situation that anyone should be in. So we are trying to fundraise to get them out, and they're really close to being able to reach their goal. So that's why I put them on my side today.
And did you travel to be here this week or today?
I did not. I'm from Chicago. Okay. Yeah.
How has it felt, like, having all of this energy and all these people in the town you live in?
It's I feel like this has given me hope when I feel like it's sometimes been hard to hold out that hope, but because everyone in Palestine is in a really, really difficult and unimaginable situation. We have to be the ones to hold that hope, and so tonight was really, really good to kind of reinvigorate that.
Speaking of hope, what do you hope will happen with this event, this march, and with this energy that has been kind of like created from all the folks being here?
I would hope that the Democrats commit to actual policy change, put an arms embargo on Israel. Many signs out here say no vote unless there's an arms embargo, and I fully agree with that. My taxes should not be funding genocide.
I guess, is there anything else you want to add?
Free Palestine. That's it. Actually, I do want to add, there are a lot of Jewish people here tonight, and I just want to unequivocally state this is not an issue about Judaism. It is an issue about colonialism, and there's nothing wrong with the wonderful Jewish religion, and I want to make sure that people who want to support Palestine, want to watch, know that it's, helping Palestinians helps all marginalized people.
Awesome. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
What is this?
We're with Lena Riot, and all of our stuff's like online, but yeah, we have some stickers too. What do you all want to speak about why you're here, or? That's okay. Our mic is pretty good, so you don't have to. I project a lot, and I forget I don't have to on this mic, so it should be okay.
You do it separate than me. Why come in here? I'll do it after.
We can.
She loves to be the center of attention. So yeah, that's fine. Okay. That's fine.
So yeah, you can introduce yourself if you want,
sure.
And if you're with a group or not, and then just why you're here and how you're feeling.
Sure, I'm Gadir. I am not affiliated with any group specifically. I am just a Palestinian trying to raise my voice for other Palestinians. So you're showing my support. It's been 10 months of this. 76 years plus 10 months of this. It's day, 320 plus 76 years. My peoples have the boot on their neck. They're being starved. They're being... pretty much every basic human right is being taken from them. What else is there to say? This is the first live stream genocide in the history of the actual world. Like, nobody's ever seen this before. Nobody. Have you ever seen anything at this scale? You hear about these atrocities, you hear about the Holocaust, you hear about Vietnam. Imagine, you know what's crazy to me? Lately, even more and more, I've been thinking about if I were even... If social media and stuff like that was around during Vietnam, what we would have saw. Because, Gaza's completely destroyed. They've dropped over 700,000 tons, I believe, of munitions and bombs and missiles. I think Vietnam was something around 7 million, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure people will try to fact check that, but I'm pretty sure. And till today, people still have the effects. You hear about like the napalm bombs and stuff like that. So people don't hear about the effects that people from the Nakba, from the 1948 Nakba, their children actually came through. My husband's from a village where the settlers long time ago contaminated the water. One of his aunts became fertile because of it. She could never have her own kids. Like, it's been a systemic just destruction and ethnic cleansing since 1948. It hasn't stopped. The Nakba never ended. That's the one thing that I think, the only thing that the extremist Israelis will say that's true, is that this is going to be worse than the Nakba, because they were all saying that. The funny thing is, they were saying this when they attacked Gaza in 2021, because this isn't the first time. This is, again, just the first time it's at this scale. They tried to use October 7th as their quote-unquote September 11th, but everybody in America knows September 11th was an inside job now. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, even a little bit. Just facts are facts, evidence is evidence, proof is proof, And those that turn a blind eye to it at this point either want to blindly follow and be told what to do and what to think and what to eat and all this stuff, or they broke free from the chains and they see the truth and they want to be part of this resistance and this intifada, which means uprising and revolution. It doesn't mean anything else other than uprising and revolution, and that's exactly what this is. This isn't just for Palestine, too. This is not just for Palestine, this is for Sudan, this is for Congo, this is for anybody that's oppressed in the world. Because not one person should have to live like this. I mean, they herd them here to kill them, then herd them there to kill them. Everywhere they tell them to go in Gaza is not safe. It's not safe. They send them to one spot to just obliterate them. It's a war on children. It's a war on children. They're mainly killing children. They're doing this on purpose. They're trying to erase the next generation. How else do you erase the next generation? You kill all the women and you kill all the children. You blow up all the hospitals. You blow up all the schools. You aim for the doctors. You aim for the engineers. You aim for the people that are going to build the infrastructure. You aim for the people that can save lives. You aim for everything that creates a literal civilization. And they have obliterated all of it. All of it. For what? For what? For a racist state? For something they claim is they're the chosen ones. It's not their land. They're not the chosen ones. Anybody of real Jewish faith will tell you that. Anybody of real Jewish faith will 1,000,000, billion% condemn Zionism with their full chest. And I think that's everything I have to say. I mean, other than that, free Palestine. Everybody keep doing what you're doing. It doesn't stop at Palestine. It stops at the whole world. It starts at Palestine and ends with the whole world being liberated from the people that control us, people that poison us, that give us food that gives us cancer and diabetes and heart attacks and I don't know. It starts at Palestine, but it ends with the whole world being freed from the chains and the shackles of just this capitalistic, just sick society that we're in. Like Aaron Bushnell, rest in peace, like he said, we can't let this be the new normal. We can't let them think that this is the new normal, and we can't let them think we're okay with this being the new normal. Thank you for giving me a minute or two to speak what I had to say. I appreciate it.
Thank you for speaking.
Of course, thank you.
Did you want to say anything? Or?
Sure. I'm with the union, so I guess I'll represent them really quick. So I'm with the SAG members for ceasefire, and that's why I came out here to represent tonight. I guess I should be speaking in the camera, right?
Wherever you want to look is up to you.
The thing is also, my father is a Nakba survivor, your mom. Also, our family, my father was born in 1944 in Palestine, so he's older than the state of Israel. And then he went through the 6-Day War. He's been in prison. He's been beaten. One time when I was 12 years old, actually, we had because we have color-coded license plates back in Palestine to say that you're Palestinian. So we went down a road that we weren't supposed to be on, and the occupation had driven and to get us and had the rifles pulled, and it was the most terrifying thing that I've ever seen. And my father had always told me about these things, but I was just an American Palestinian girl just visiting my family in Palestine, so I didn't understand until that actual moment that there was true segregation and that it was very scary. And I was 12 years old, yeah. And then, there's all of this guilt almost, it's a survivor's guilt actually, because our family is here and we understand that what America has given them. We understand that, it's not lost on us that we can walk the streets freely here pretty much. But there's a guilt that the rest of our family did not get out. And it's so terrifying, what they're going through right now. And it's not new. It's been going on for years. In 2014, Netanyahu was tried for war crimes on bombing schools in Gaza. And I think they had bombed about 3 schools. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, United Nations all had put out statements completely debunking what they had said was true and the reasoning of why they needed to bomb those schools. And they were saying that they needed to bomb those schools and kill those children because supposedly Hamas was hiding weapons. I'm not sure how long we can continue this excuse, because if it wasn't Hamas, it would be something else. This is happening where Hamas doesn't exist in the West Bank. It happened before Hamas ever existed, and it will continue to happen if they're not here. So I think we really need to collectively get it together and finally understand what is happening. You good? Sorry. It's okay.
Our battery is...
Oh, okay, I got it. It's good. You got enough.
Is it on 0? Oh, well, if you have a couple more, what is a last thing you might want to say?
Let me think. Sorry.
How that excuse of it's Hamas, so we're bombing the schools. That's what you were saying. But.
Right. I mean, the thing is, like, oh, well, even with right now, like us being here outside of the DNC, this is to prove a point. I know personally I'm terrified of a Trump presidency, but how could I, in this moment right now, give a vote to someone who is shushing us when we're trying to speak? To actually say, shh, I'm speaking, that is the problem. You're not listening. You keep speaking without listening. We are obviously, all of us out here, there's thousands and thousands. This is just Chicago alone. We are saying how important, what this means to us, and we're still being ignored. I don't understand it. I really don't. Like, why are people ignoring us? We have been pleading with people, Palestinian Americans, we have been pleading with people for years, like, please, you guys don't understand what's happening to our people. They keep being killed, they keep being raped, they keep being tortured. No one's doing anything to help us. This is the first time I've ever seen anything. My father's 80 years old, he survived the Nakba. He was here earlier today crying because he couldn't believe that people actually saw him as a human being. You guys have no idea, like, unless you've been through it yourself.